Chapter 18:15. I want to fuse the scriptures pavilion. Chapter 18:15. I want to fuse the scriptures pavilion. What? Eliminate all names from the list of 10 sex exchanges. What's going on? Did they get it wrong? Our points are obviously the highest. Why did you want to eliminate our names from the list? The names of Long Fei, Ba Wanghua, and Wang Tai were excluded. They were not on the 10 sex exchanges list, which meant that they had lost their chance in this exchange. LV Shuangchuan immediately said, I will send people to investigate. With that, he left. Wang Tai's face was calm, and there were no ripples in his eyes. Ba Wanghua looked at Long Fei. Long Fei laughed bitterly. Seems like the God Rare Sect's water is quite deep. In the inner sect, Grand Elder, they are all this year's most outstanding disciples of the God Rare Sect, especially that Long Fei. Zhang Sanqian bowed and bent his knees as he stood behind the golden-robed elder. He didn't even dare to speak loudly. God Rare Sect Great Clan Elder. The leader was one of the few Grand Elders. Gold Robe Master. When Gold Robe Master heard the two words Long Fei, he was immediately cut off and said, he killed the inner sect disciples, outer door great presbyter S, and so many great elders, yet you want him to represent the God Rare Sect. 3,000. Is that shit in your head? He bellowed. No matter how wrong Luo Wanhong is, he's still the great elder of the God Rare Sect's inner sect. He died just like that. How do you expect the other sects to view the God Rare Sect? Humph. If I don't come out this time, God Rare Sect will lose all face because of you. His words were filled with anger. But Zhang Sanqian still wanted to fight for something. The Gold Robe Master angrily rebuked. There is no such thing as but. I have brought out 10 disciples, and they will be fully replaced. We cannot afford to lose this year's exchange. Look at what you have done for the God Rare Sect all these years. From the peak of God Rare Sect till today, it's all because of you useless trash. He scolded them harshly. Zhang Sanqian laughed bitterly in his heart. Grand Elder, if their qualifications is removed, many people would refuse to accept it. If there is another internal conflict in God Rare Sect, I'm afraid. Are you threatening me? Gold Robe Master suddenly turned and stared at Zhang Sanqian, the pressure on his body slightly fluctuating. Plop! Zhang Sanqian was directly crushed to the point of him kneeling on the ground, without even being able to raise his head, which was incomparably unbearable, as he said with difficulty. This disciple doesn't dare. This disciple is only, Gold Robe Master said. Didn't you use your sect master's position to protect Long Fei? All right. From today onwards, if you are no longer God Rare Sect master, I will be replaced by you three. Zhang Sanqian, I gave you everything you've got. Now that your wings are stiff, do you want to go against me? If not for your dead master, you would already be dead. The Gold Robe Master slowly said. He didn't like it when people challenged his dignity. His words were everything. No one was allowed to resist. Even the God Rare Sect Lord was the same. Zhang Sanqian replied, Disciple does not dare. Scram. From now on, you are an elder of the Outer Court Scripture Pavilion. You are never allowed to take even half a step into the inner court. Gold Robe Master shouted. Zhang Sanqian did not dare resist, and said, Disciple will do as you say. He slowly retreated. The position of sect head didn't matter. It was just that he did not let Long Fei and the others become the official name list. This was the pain in his heart. However, he did his best. Gold Robe Master was the highest elder, and the key thing was that his cultivation was supreme. A single pressure was enough to make him kneel on the ground without being able to straighten his back. This world is the powerhouse world. If you are weak You have no right to speak. Zhang Sanqian walked out. Gold Robe Master coldly snorted. Useless trash. God, rare sect should not have been handed over to you in the first place. Jin Chan. A disciple appeared out of nowhere. The Gold Robe Master said, From now on, you are God Rare sect leader, and also the leader of this year's 10 Great Exchange. No loss is allowed during this exchange. If not, you won't have to live in this world anymore. A smile appeared on Jin Chan's face, and he said, Master, don't worry, I won't disappoint you. Gold Robe Master came out of seclusion. In just a short span of one day, he had completely taken over everything within the inner sect, and the 10 disciples he brought along had forcefully suppressed all. As for the outer sect, from the beginning, the Gold Robe Master had never placed the outer sect in his eyes. In his eyes, the outer sect was just a mob, a place for trash to gather. What? Even the Grand Master was chased out. This. Is there even a law within a kingdom? Laws. In this world, who is the powerhouse? Who is the king's law? Gold Robe Master has cultivated for more than 300 years. His cultivation is unfathomable. All these years, the other sects did not dare to make a move against us because our God Rare sect still has the great clan elder holding the fort. We do not dare to be rash. Otherwise, do you think the other sects would not dare to make a move against the God Rare sect? I'm afraid that the God Rare sect has already passed away from this world. The matter of Zhang Sanqian being chased out of the inner sect continued to ferment. Some people protested against Zhang Sanqian, but the result was forever. The 10 disciples that Gold Robe Master brought out were all ruthless, and he would not give any reason to you. They only believed in one word, kill if you don't agree. Outer Sect Scripture Pavilion. There were tens of thousands of books here, and there were all sorts of cultivation techniques. This was also the place Long Fei yearned for day and night. Seeing Long Fei, Zhang Sanqian revealed a bitter smile and said, Sorry to disappoint you. Long Fei said, I am not disappointed at all. Zhang Sanqian was surprised for a moment and said, Didn't you always want to go to the 10 sects exchange? This time, it's very likely that you won't be able to get on stage. It doesn't matter. Long Fei laughed and said, I'm not interested in the exchange. I just want to see what it looks like. He wanted to see all the places his mother had been. As for the sparring, that was secondary. Zhang Sanqian let out a long breath and said, If only you could go up on stage. You will definitely shock the 10 sects and become famous in one battle. Right. Why did you come to the Compendium Pavilion today? Do you want to choose a suitable technique? Zhang Sanqian regained his senses and asked. Long Fei laughed and said, About that. You are now an elder of the Compendium Pavilion, so everything here is under your control. Can you do me a favor? Long Fei said while laughing. Zhang Sanqian asked, What is it? Long Fei said, I want to integrate all the cultivation techniques in the entire library. He wanted to raise the level of the Super Hurricane Burst boxing another level. If he could kill 10 people in one punch, how awesome was this? Zhang Sanqian looked at Long Fei, looked at him very seriously, and said slightly, Then you must at least agree to a condition of mine. What? Long Fei asked. Zhang Sanqian said, Competition for hegemony. Chapter 1816. Provoke. Chapter 1816. Provoke. Ding. Blasting Fist Experience plus 500 points. Ding. Fusion of the Void Shattering Palm. Blasting Fist Experience plus 100 points. Crazy Fusion. The Outer Court Scripture Pavilion had a total of 7 floors. The number of books had reached 100,000. For an entire 3 days and 3 nights, Long Fei did not stop to rest. From the beginning of the first floor to the current 7th floor, Long Fei was completely immersed in it. This is great. looking at how the experience of the blasting fist kept superimposing, and that he would soon be able to break through the fourth level. What kind of blasting fist would that be? One punch to kill 10 people or more. Long Fei's heart was filled with incomparable anticipation. Continue. Ding, 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 ding. There were a lot of books in the Outer Sect of God rare sect, but most of them were only low-grade martial arts training techniques. This kind of technique would at most give one experience. If they were all God-tier secret skills, the blasting fist would have already broken through several levels. Boom. Half an hour later, the last cultivation technique manual was completed merged. Long Fei stopped and looked at the experience slot on the blasting fist. I still lack 1,000 experience points. It seems like I need to integrate with some divine, ranked techniques. He only had a few skills in his inventory. After fusing, there would be nothing left. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Long Fei would not fuse with his own cultivation technique. He turned around and looked at the ancient text depository. The huge ancient text depository was now empty, with nothing left. Zhang Sanqian stood below. He raised his head and looked at Long Fei quietly. He did not ask Long Fei what kind of cultivation technique he was training and what techniques he was using. He smiled. Can you fuse all of them now? Long Fei walked down and said, All right. Zhang Sanqian said, What you promised me. Long Fei said, At the hegemonical competition, I will do my best. Zhang Sanqian said, All right. And then his palm moved and condensed a divine power fireball. The fireball moved with a boom sound. The scripture pavilion was set ablaze. All of the martial arts inside were completely swallowed up by Long Fei. If anyone knew about it, Long Fei would definitely be expelled out of God Rare Sect. And maybe even worse. It takes only a fire to destroy everything. He would bear all the guilt. The second day, Zhang Sanqian, you neglect your duty and caused a great fire to burn everything. You are guilty beyond pardon. Down with the dungeon. You are not allowed to touch anyone or anything for 3 years. Zhang Sanqian did not refute him and willingly accepted his punishment. After Long Fei found out about this, she secretly tensed up and said, I won't let you down. Zhang Sanqian used everything he had to help Long Fei. He did not hesitate to start a war with the mighty Luo Wanhong to protect Long Fei, and he did not hesitate to use the position of sect master to protect Long Fei. Long Fei recorded all of these in his heart. He was a person who would repay the kindness that he had given Zhang Sanqian, drop by drop, drop by drop. Competition for hegemony. 10 days later, in the center of Devil Island was the Devil Hills of the Demon Mountain Range. It was like an ancient temple. Behind him was a huge temple. The surroundings of the temple were carvings of all sorts of demons. This was the center of Devil Island, also the place where the 10 Sects Exchange was located. Usually, only a few people would clean and maintain the place, but it was different today. There was a sea of people here, and all the new people from 10 sects were gathered. Is this the Devil Hills? What a sight! Are we going to stay here for 3 days? Long Fei and the group walked into the central plaza of Devil Hills, where the Ming God's general was having a martial arts exchange. Ba Wanghua said in a low voice, If only I could go on stage. Being able to enter the arena was her dream. She thought that he would be able to enter the arena this year, but right now she was only a substitute. Out of the 10 primary disciples, each one was much stronger than her. She simply didn't have the chance to ascend the stage. At this time, the corner of Jean Chan's mouth curled up slightly. He glanced at Ba Wanghua's chest and said, Accompany me to sleep tonight. I'll let you go on stage tomorrow. Ba Wanghua's gaze tensed up. Long Fei laughed blandly. Sect master, why don't I sleep with you tonight? Jean Chan looked at Long Fei coldly and said, "Humph, if it wasn't for Zhang Sanqian protecting you, you wouldn't even have the qualifications to speak to me. Understand?" Long Fei said, "Understood. If it wasn't for Gold Robe Master, you also wouldn't have the qualifications to stand here. Lord Sect Master, do you understand? Do you want to die?" Jean Chan's eyes were filled with killing intent. From the moment he first saw Long Fei, he was already in a bad mood. Long Fei said, "Do you want to take action? If you don't want to lose face in front of 9 major sects, I don't care. I am just a nominal disciple anyway." The 2 accompanying elders walked over and said, "Sect Master, please calm down. There are a lot of people watching." "Humph. Long Fei, I'm not Luo Wanhong, and I'm not Zhang Sanqian either. If you piss me off, you'll be even more pained." Jean Chan said coldly. It was extremely cold and arrogant, after which he walked out with large strides. An elder stopped and said to Long Fei, "Long Fei, if you don't want to die here, you should be more honest. He is different from the others. He is a direct disciple of the Gold Robe Master, and is comparable to those other 10 disciples." He did not finish his sentence and lowered his voice. "In short, do not provoke him. This is the 10 sects exchange, and everything is in the honor of the God Rare sect. Zhang Sanqian also doesn't want you to lose face for the God Rare sect, right?" After which, the elder also gave chase. At this time, LV Shuangchuan ran over, panting. Long Fei was slightly shocked. Ba Wanghua asked, "Why are you here?" LV Shuangchuan was not a substitute disciple. He did not have the qualifications to participate in the exchange. LV Shuangchuan panted, "I've spent all of my savings. I can't possibly let you guys come, so I won't come, right? And look at the people here. Other than the people from the 10 sects, there are also people from many other forces, many of them rich people who spent money to come watch this performance." Long Fei's gaze swept across them. It was true. The 10 sects exchange was the most important matter for the Devil Island, and it was also because of this that it was able to affect the influence of the 10 sections. Ba Wanghua said, "Spending so much money to watch this exchange, is it worth it?" LV Shuangchuan said, arrogantly, "I saved up all these 3 years just for today, and you think I'm really here to watch the show? I'm here to help you gather information. Information is important. No matter which world it was in, if you could know your enemy, then you would be able to strike a fatal blow." Wang Tai, who had been silent all this time, lightly said, "Xianyang sect's people have come." 3 people. There were 3 people with extraordinary auras. A faint golden light flickered beneath his feet. Invisible, there was a type of extraordinary power that gave others an inexplicable feeling of pressure. His cultivation was high. "You are Long Fei." The leading man walked to the front of Long Fei and stared at him. Long Fei nodded and said, "I am." "Very good. On the fighting stage tomorrow, I will trample you under my feet in front of junior sister Nia Lin. Remember, my name is Chun Zhan." Chapter 1817. To seize women. Chapter 1817. To seize women, he directly went up to provoke them. Long Fei was a little confused, but just as Chun Zhan finished his sentence, another group of people walked up. LV Shuangchuan said in a low voice, "Brother Fei, it's the Divine Moon sect." "Chun Zhan, did you lose your mind?" He actually challenged a God Rare sect disciple, and the young man looked at Long Fei and sneered. Moreover, he's only a nominal disciple, and a substitute at that. "Chun Zhan, are you trash enough to challenge a substitute?" "Ha ha ha." The disciples of the Moon God sect all laughed. Chun Zhan looked at Long Fei in shock. He did not know that Long Fei was a disciple in name, and did not know that Long Fei was just a substitute, and was completely shocked in his heart. At the same time, He turned his face to the moon god sect disciple and said, Lin Tianyue, what can I do that you need to care? LV Shuangquan's expression immediately changed, and he said, Lin Tianyue, 10 disciples, is ranked 5th and possesses superb talent in martial arts training. Yes, he was able to carve out a formation in an instant without anyone knowing. It's extremely difficult to deal with him. He's a seated participant from the Moon God sect. When he knew that Long Fei was going to the exchange half a month ago, he had been gathering information very quickly. This was the only thing that he could help Long Fei. Lin Yuetian sneered and said, Where's the great beauty, Nye Lin? Why didn't he see her? I haven't seen her in years, and I can't help thinking about her every night. Thinking of her, she is mine. Lin Yuetian, do you want to fight with me for her? At this moment, another wave of people walked over. LV Shuangquan then continued to speak in a low voice. People from the Sky Moon sect. The one leading them is the one ranked 4th in the 10 disciples called Tu Hong, and some are called the 10,000 Slaughter, and it is rumored that he has killed over 10,000 people. His martial arts training talent also surpasses that of the 10 rating, and the special gift he possesses is beast taming. He's very strong. Seeing Tu Hong appear, Lin Tianyue slightly shrunk. However, he smiled slightly and said, Tu Hong, just your birth is not enough to be a beauty like Nye Lin. A butcher's son already knows how to kill people. No woman would like this kind of person. Tu Hong's physique was tall and sturdy like the executioner's in a movie. In his hand was a shining machete. His thick eyebrows glared, and even the timid ones were scared to death. Tu Hong gave a cold laugh and said, Lin Tianyue, my status is indeed not good, but your father is stronger than you. Are you even worthy to fight with me for a woman? Huh. His aura trembled slightly. This kind of rough killing intent completely crushed down, and for a time, Lin Tianyue couldn't bear it anymore, forming a single hand under his sleeve. His robes slightly moved. In just a few seconds, all of the pressure released by Tu Hong was blocked by the formation. He had to say it. This method of forming the array, the speed, caused Long Fei to be speechless. Very fierce. Too fierce. Just like how Nye Lin used his spirit communication technique to subdue the rebellious Iron Hand Eagle. Every single one of the 10 disciples were different and exceptionally strong. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Just as Tu Hong and Lin Tianyue were secretly competing, a series of ferocious laughter sounded out. Wow, you guys actually want to make a big move for my woman? Isn't that too crazy? Do you still have me in your eyes? Lin Tianyue withdrew his strength. Tu Hong's strength was withdrawn as well, and he kept his guard up. LV Shuangquan said in a low voice, a disciple of the Xiaoyao Palace, and the one who spoke was ranked 2nd amongst the 4 great disciples, nicknamed Mad Dog. He was the most bloodthirsty person in the 10 disciples, and his killing methods were extremely cruel, more than even the number of people who slaughtered Tu Hong. One more thing. There are 3 10 disciples in Xiaoyao Palace, but he has come looking for us himself. This person is extremely dangerous. Brother Fei, you must be careful. Once the Mad Dog appeared, Tu Hong and Lin Tianyue immediately lost their temper. Be it in terms of strength or sect strength, their sects were not as strong as the Xiaoyao Palace. The Mad Dog walked up to the 2 of them and sneered. Nye Lin is my woman. If anyone dares to fight with me, I will definitely skin them alive. While they were talking, a thin knife appeared in his hand. He licked it and revealed a sinister smile. No one dared to speak a word. Behind him were 2 other disciples, who were also ranked 8th and 9th in the 10 disciples. Xiaoyao Palace only had 3 10 disciples. This year's exchange was filled with contenders for the power of the new king. Furthermore, Xiaoyao Palace's strength had advanced by leaps and bounds in the past year. Even if he was to arrogantly and wantonly intercept and kill the disciples of other sects, no one would dare to stop him. The mad dog looked at Long Fei and said, "I heard that my woman has a good impression of you." As soon as he finished, Tu Hong and Lin Tianyue simultaneously looked towards Long Fei. Nie Lin was the only woman in the 10 disciples, and she also had a peerless beauty. The other 9 people in the 10 disciples all aimed to snatch Nie Lin. This was a battle for glory. However, it was rumored that Nie Lin liked the top-ranked Yen Nantian. However, this was just a rumor. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Your woman? Sorry, I'm not interested in a wife. But Nie Lin and I almost got married." As soon as he finished, the mad dog suddenly took a step forward and was about to place the blade in his hand on Long Fei's neck. Wang Tai also took a sudden step forward, and it was unknown when the heavy sword that was still wrapped around his back had already blocked it. Mad Dog's eyes were cold and dark as he said, "Brat, do you believe that I won't kill you right now?" Both eyes were staring straight at Long Fei. The killing intent was cold. But then Long Fei laughed calmly and said, "You want to do something? Are you afraid?" The mad dog coldly said, who was not far from Long Fei, was also looking at him with a cold smile, "I'm only a substitute disciple. If you want to cause trouble, if you want to trample me to death in the arena in front of Nie Lin, then you have to kill some people." The mad dog took a step back and said with a sneer, "Using a knife to kill someone?" Long Fei took a step forward and said, "Are you afraid?" The mad dog laughed sinisterly and said, "Hee, rest assured, I will definitely trample you to death in the arena." Then his gaze turned to look at Jin Chan, who was in the distance. The mad dog went out. Tu Hong and Lin Yuetian also left. They all had the same thought. If they wanted to stomp Long Fei under their feet in front of Nie Lin, who was only at the Blue Star Realm, it would be easy to crush him. They wanted to trample whoever Nie Lin liked to show their worth. After everyone left, LV Shuangchuan said excitedly, "Jin Chan and the rest will be in trouble tonight. Of all the people to provoke, you chose to provoke Brother Fei." Ha ha ha. Chapter 1818. Unlucky Temple. Chapter 1818. Unlucky Temple, the gathering of geniuses was all for the Rookie King. If he hadn't promised Zhang Sanqian, Long Fei wouldn't have been interested in this exchange. He had come here to find his mother's tracks. Goddess Sect, God Rare Sect, Immortal Destiny Cliff, Underground Palace. These were all places his mother had passed by. Every place had her things, and this Devil Hills was the same. What did Long Fei want to know here? Behind the 18 demon pillars, there was a huge temple. Even though it was called a temple, it was actually a huge rock. It was a huge boulder in the direction, but it was incomparably huge as it towered in the sky. The temple didn't have any windows, and apart from the carved fierce devil, there were no other decorations. At the bottom of the temple was a closed stone door, which was the only way to enter the temple. Long Fei stood at the entrance of the temple, raised his head, and looked at the sky, sighing with emotion, "It's too damn big." LV Shuangchuan said, "Brother Fei, this is the Devil Temple. Only the new king can enter this place every year. Every single person's opinion is different inside. The world that teleports everyone into is different. It's like this place is connected to countless dimensions." Wang Tai looked up, his eyes blazing with fire. He could tell that he really wanted to go in. Wishing to go in. The Devil Temple was his goal, but only one person in a year could get in here. It was too hard to get in. But Wang Hua said, "I think we should go in and see what's inside." LV Shuangchuan laughed. Every single disciple of the 10 sects wants to go in and take a look. No one can unravel the mysteries within a world that is endlessly changing and unimaginable. Long Fei smiled faintly as he thought in his heart, "Master Mother, have you been in there before?" The previous King Rookie was 7-star Sex Wu Xiao. In a year's time, he went from the peak of the Blue Star realm to the Red Star Peak realm, becoming 7-star Sex #1 disciple. The previous Rookie King was the sky-breaking fist of the Ling Tian sect. He broke through to the 13th stage in a year. Many powerhouse-s have broke through as fast as lightning in just a short year, and have not received any external help. The weakest was a large realm, the most were several large realms, and many were people who had stepped into the Black Star realm in a year. However, none of the powerhouse-s who made such rapid breakthroughs were able to accomplish anything. Only your God Rare Sect S can do it. She is the first and also the only one. What did she see in this temple? What did you get? No one knows. On the other side of the temple, Nielin slowly walked over wearing a light blue dress, her eyes blazing with desire. She also wanted to enter the temple because this was the land of dreams. LV Shuangchuan could not help but say, 10 disciples' reputation is number 3. Nielin, sure enough, is as the rumors say. Ba Wang Hua could not help but feel a little jealous. Nielin was indeed beautiful, and had a feeling that she was a fairy that was untainted by the mortal world's smoke and fire. Nielin smiled lightly. "Senior brother Long Fei, we meet again." Long Fei politely smiled and said, "Yes, we meet again." Nielin said, "In the past, I felt that I had the desire to enter the temple to see the secrets of the pinnacle of the martial arts, but with you here, I have no hope, but I will try my best." Long Fei had never thought of entering the Flying Goddess, but hearing Nielin say that his mother had entered there before, he became interested and asked, "You said that Flying Goddess had entered there before?" Nielin said, "You seem to be especially interested in the matters of the Flying Goddess?" "In the underground palace, now," Long Fei said. "She is, after all, the #1 person in our God Rare sect, and also the first person from the Devil Island to fly out of the Forsaken God continent." Nielin replied, "That's true. It is said that she entered the temple with an invincible posture and stayed inside for a year. No one knows what she obtained in the temple or what she trained in, but she is the only one who stayed in the temple for a year. You are a disciple of the God Rare sect. You should know this better than me." Nielin looked up at the temple. The Flying Goddess in her heart was his idol. She also wanted to fly into the sky and break through her shackles. LV Shuangchuan said slightly, "Brother Fei, after Flying Goddess returned to the God Rare sect from here, he spent a year to become the sect's protector, and in a short period of time, he made the God Rare sect the head of the 10 sects, bringing about 1,000 years of prosperity for the God Rare sect. As for what she obtained from it, no one knows. There are no records of it in history. According to Long Fei's understanding, before entering the God Rare sect, her mother had already grasped the power of the time laws. Her year might have been 1,000 years, 10,000 years, or even longer in the temple. Of course, it could also be shorter." "Humph," Long Fei thought. "Seems like I should go in and take a look." Nielin said, "Devil Island is a land of the gods, while this devil temple is a gift from the heavens. It's said that this temple is called the Heaven's Mandate, a place that changes fate. The fates of those who enter have all changed. The fates have all changed. I don't know if it's true or not." Long Fei saw the expression in Nielin's eyes and turned to look at the 2 guards at the entrance of the temple. LV Shuangchuan said, "This door is not something that anyone can open. Even if you rush in, it will be useless, the door will still be closed, and you will not be able to find any place to open it." Nielin smiled and said, "Only the Rookie King can enter. Other people won't do. Do you want to go in?" Long Fei asked. Nielin said, "Who doesn't want to? With you here this year, I won't have a chance. It was somewhat bitter. During this half a month, she had been training arduously with the myriad spirit pill that Long Fei gave her. Her cultivation had increased by a lot, but she still could not think of a way to break Long Fei's fist. But Wang Hua said, I also want to go in. Wang Tai replied softly and briefly, yes. LV Shuangchuan chuckled and said, it's like I'm recording the world inside and then printing it into a book. I'll definitely earn a lot of money. Hee hee. Long Fei looked up at the temple in the sky and said, don't worry, you will all be going in. If there was no one here, he would really take them away with him using the Sumi rings. A Sumi rings could contain a land, so a mere temple was no problem. Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei's eyes were firm and said, I will become the master of the demon temple, and then all of you can go in. Become the master of this place. Become the master of this place. The four of them repeated what Long Fei said, and no one ever said such a thing. This temple was born from the heavens and the earth, and was a gift from the heavens. Could it be? Could he still become the owner of this place? If he could become the master of this place, then now, who was the owner of this temple? Was it a boss? Chapter 1819. Hell Reaper. Chapter 1819. Hell Reaper. Long Fei, you seem to be very familiar with other sects. Since you're so familiar with them, why did you come back? Go to their camp. A disciple beside Jin Chan said in disdain. When Long Fei and the other two returned, they were blocked outside the camp. The 10 sects had specially planned a place to spend the night and rest. Other than the public places, the places that were unique to 10 sects were not allowed to be overstepped. It was already dark. Long Fei and the rest wanted to return to the God Rare sect to rest, as well as to eat something, but they were stopped outside the camp. Senior brother, we are not familiar with them. Just let us in. Tomorrow is the exchange. Ba Wanghua begged with a smile. Without waiting for her to finish speaking, the disciple said with a cold sweat, what does tomorrow's exchange have to do with you? You are just some substitutes. Do you have the qualifications to go up on stage to represent the God Rare sect? At this time, another disciple looked at Ba Wanghua and said, the sect master said that as long as you are willing to accompany the sect master to sleep, he will allow you to enter. Also, he wants you to compete on the stage tomorrow. Wang Tai slightly moved, and the heavy sword on his back began to buzz. Long Fei sneered and said, go back and tell sect master that I wish him a good night's sleep. And then he pulled Ba Wanghua and left, very unhappy. Long Fei really wanted to blast them to death with a single punch. But not now. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. A dog that has lost its home. Get lost. Don't embarrass our God Rare sect. A mocking laugh came from behind him. Long Fei clenched both his fists tightly, a ball of anger burning in his heart as he thought to himself, just laugh. You won't be able to laugh again after tonight. Ba Wanghua asked, where are we going now? 10 sects has their own camp we cannot enter. And there are many strange things happening in this Devil Hills. Rumor has it that demons have come in and out if they were caught. Long Fei could not hold back his laughter, and there are demons coming in and out. Don't worry, I will take care of everything. LV Shuangchuan ran over and said, Brother Fei, you guys follow me. I have a place to stay. What senior sister said just now was right. This Devil Hills will really have demons coming. Wang Tai also nodded and said, demons have arrived. Long Fei was startled. There really are demons? LV Shuangchuan said, really, this is not a rumor. Every year there will be disciples that die under the demon's claws. At night, we must return to the camp, and the sect leader will not let you in. He definitely wants you to die outside. Long Fei thought, fuck, so you want me to die outside? Sure. Then let's see who will die tonight. Long Fei looked at LV Shuangchuan and said, "I'll go with you." LV Shuangchuan was one of those people that could brag, and many would believe. Although his cultivation was not high, he could get along well wherever he went. In just half a day's time, he had become familiar with these complicated people who were watching the exchange. "Brother Shuangchuan, when are you going to tell us about the God-bursting punch again?" "Brother Duoquan, let's drink." "Brother Shuangchuan." LV Shuangchuan smiled and walked to a slightly concealed little courtyard. "It's a little messy, but I can barely manage, master." Long Fei could not wait any longer. "Tell me about the demon's arrival." "What is a demon?" "It's weird. Or perhaps it was a boss. If there really were demons coming, how could they not kill them? He might even be able to break through a few levels." LV Shuangchuan looked at Long Fei's serious expression and said, "I also heard that every year's rookie exchange is held on the New Moon's Day in December. New Moon Day, demon descent. Some say that these demons descended from the new moon, and some also say that they came out from the Devil Temple, and some say that they came out from the mountain range below. In any case, their methods are different, and these are not the main points. The main point is that these demons never descended for the sake of killing, as if they were looking for something, but if anyone sees them being discovered, he will die. Brother Fei, don't act recklessly. We can't offend these guys." LV Shuangchuan reminded her. Ba Wanghua immediately grabbed Long Fei's arm. Wang Tai's expression still remained the same, without any changes. However, every time he heard the word demon, his eyes would tremble slightly. He didn't know why. Long Fei muttered to himself, "The night of the new moon, the night of the devil's descent. Today is the night of the new moon. That night, it will definitely be fun." "Has anyone ever killed a demon before?" Long Fei casually asked. There must be people who did not believe these legends, and even more so believed that there were demons, so even if there were, they would still kill them. In this world, the more dangerous things were, the higher the return would be. LV Shuangchuan said, "Rumor has it that this has never been tested, and that there have been people who have killed demons before. This person is also our god Rare Sex Master, Flying Goddess. She killed demons?" Ba Wanghua was slightly surprised. "She is my idol." LV Shuangchuan said, "It's just that it's said that no one can confirm it, and Flying Goddess has never said anything about it." "Mother." Long Fei muttered in his heart, "What exactly is a demon?" Long Fei said, "All of you should rest early to recuperate. Tomorrow, we might be able to go on stage. Tu Hong, Mad Dog, Lin Tianyue, and the others would probably attack him. They all wanted to step on him in front of Nialin, so they would definitely think of all sorts of ways to make him go up on stage." Long Fei was not worried about all these. All his thoughts were now on the descending demon. Deep in the night, the entire sky was pitch black. The entire Devil Hills was completely silent. There was no sound at all. Suddenly, the sound of something tearing through the air could be heard, just like the sound of a teleportation array opening. The sound of wind blowing from another space could be heard. A voice resounded in Long Fei's mind. "It's here." Desperate man's voice. Long Fei's eyes immediately opened wide, excitement evident in his eyes, and he said lightly, "Looks like tonight will be an exciting night." Then, Long Fei's body lightly moved as he turned around to look at the soundly asleep Ba Wanghua. When Long Fei wanted to leave, he found that Wang Tai had disappeared. Where did he go? Immediately, Long Fei did not think too much and quietly slipped out. At this moment, in the air above the Devil Temple, a gigantic void door opened up. Light scattered down, and one after another covered in black steel armor. Their eyes flashed with green light. There were a total of 12 of them, at the top of the temple. Moreover, The old monk quietly watched, but they did not leave. Long Fei's eyes were filled with shock. Damn, Hell Reaper! Chapter 1820, Powerful Old Monk. Chapter 1820, Powerful Old Monk. The 12 of them represented December. They also had different powers. Secretly, Long Fei saw everything and said in his heart, "Every year's exchange, why did you come? What are they looking for?" When his mother was here, these Hell Reaper came. What was the purpose of coming here for 1,000 years? What was he looking for among the disciples of the 10 sects? Or something else? Do these assassins from the infernal realm want to reap whose life? Long Fei was secretly shocked in his heart. Buzz. The empty gates at the top of the temple were closed. The 12 Hell Reaper started to move, heading towards the 10 great camps. Kill. Suddenly, a sound was heard. Xiao Yao Palace's mad dog ran out. The chi on its body was surging, and with a move of its fingers, a sharp claw under its sleeve shot out with a cold light. Shwa! It was incomparably fast, directly hooking his arm around the neck of a Hell Reaper. Mad Dog grinned and laughed. Ha ha ha! What dogs hit? New Moon Night. The descent of the demons. You dregs can all kneel in front of me. Ha ha ha! With a burst of strength, his sharp claws stabbed into the demon's neck. If it was a normal martial artist, then with a pole like this, he would have broken his neck. However, Hell Reaper didn't move at all. The black liquid gushed out from the hook, but as if he didn't feel any pain, his eyes turned slightly as he looked at the mad dog. At this moment, the mad dog's eyes went completely blank. At this moment, rumble! His head exploded, leaving only half of his body to stagger to a stop. 10 disciples second, to be killed in an instant with just a glance. How strong was the Hell Reaper? Gudong! Long Fei's mouth was parched, and his throat was parched. He was extremely shocked in his heart. The mad dog was crazy, but he was strong. If not, he would not be 10 disciples. However, a look, with just a glance, he killed him. This was the first time Long Fei saw such a killing look. How could he defend against such an attack? Even with the Holy Maiden protecting him, it was useless. The damage was too high. Long Fei did not dare make a sound. But Long Fei's aura could not be hidden. Desperate Man immediately said, "Keep your head down. Don't look at him. Quick, quick, quick." Without waiting for Long Fei to react, Desperate Man immediately grabbed Long Fei and buried his head. Half a moment later, the Hell Reaper disappeared. Long Fei sweated profusely. Behind him, his palms were all drenched in cold sweat. He had seen ferocious-looking beasts, but he had never seen such a ferocious-looking beast. However, Long Fei's heart became even more crazed. If these 12 people were all my war pet, then it's gone. It's crazy, but reality was cruel. If his eyes could kill him in an instant, how could he block this kind of attack? Long Fei's cultivation was simply not good enough. Moreover, even if his gaze didn't instantly kill him, how could he instantly subdue these guys? Still not good enough. Just as Long Fei was thinking about how to get a hold of these guys, a figure lightly jumped and carried a heavy sword on his back. He quickly rushed towards Devil Temple. Long Fei was startled. Wang Tai? Seeing Wang Tai rushing towards Devil Temple at full speed, Long Fei's heart sank. What does he want to do? Immediately, Long Fei rushed forward and shouted, "Wang Tai, don't be rash." Wang Tai turned his head to look at Long Fei, but his speed did not decrease and continued to rush forward. He wanted to enter the Devil Temple. He had a reason to go in. His purpose for coming here was to enter the temple, and Flying Goddess only left after entering the temple. He would definitely find a way to leave the Devil Island. He wants to return to the clan. He wanted to ask the patriarch in front of him why he abandoned him, just because Just because of him, Wang Tai's heart was incomparably resolute. He wanted to leave the Devil Island his entire life. The Devil Temple was the only method he knew of. Wang Tai, don't. Long Fei shouted. The old monk guarding the door looked like he was about to run out of oil, but they were the true peerless powerhouse, just like the sweeping monk-s of Shaolin Temple. I don't care. The heavy sword on Wang Tai's back fell. Wang! The aura on his body shook. Kacha, kacha, kacha! Countless brown bones grew from his back, and he looked like a demon from hell, just like the power of the God's Bone taboo that Long Fei cultivated in. Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart. It was very similar. The power of the God's Bone taboo. Ah! With a roar, Wang Tai held onto his sword with both of his hands and slashed at an old monk. The old monk's figure moved. All of his power was instantly absorbed by a powerful force. He didn't even raise his eyes as his right shoulder moved and rushed forward. Boom! A thick wave of energy gushed out. It sent Wang Tai flying. It was so easy that Long Fei almost could not see if the old monk had moved or not. It was too fast. And this was a tiny bit of his strength. The two of them had guarded here for 1,000 years, so even if Long Fei had the system, he could not tell how strong they were. Desperate Man also frowned. He looked at the two old monks, but did not have any weakness. Wang Tai was sent flying, hitting the ground. He said again, "Ah, kacha, kacha, kacha." The brown bone quickly cracked, just like a tree branch growing crazily. The strength of the entire body became different as it moved. Ah! A furious roar. Wang Tai dragged his sword on the ground, causing flames to fly in all directions. I must go in. I must go in. Wang Tai took a step forward, and the brown-colored bones on his back emitted a cold light. However, at this moment, the old monk raised his eyes slightly. Long Fei took a step forward as the idea moved. Holy Spirit defense. Buzz. A defensive shield appeared on Long Fei's body, reducing his attack power by 99%, and he directly blocked it for Wang Tai. Rumble. In that instant, Long Fei's body was like a plane that crashed in the air, quickly spinning and landing hundreds of meters away. Unwell. It was extremely uncomfortable. His entire body seemed to have collapsed. His health point was rapidly decreasing. He couldn't hold on at all. Long Fei quickly swallowed down a dozen or so high-class healing pills, barely allowing his health point to get onto his body as he saved his life. He's really King strong. So strong that even I suspect that using the blasting fist won't kill him. It was really strong. It was hard to describe it with words. Holy Spirit defense's power instantly shattered. Moreover, this move was taken by Long Fei in place of Wang Tai. Thus, Wang Tai was not harmed. His sword also slashed down heavily. Just that. Not even a single strand of hair was cut off from the old monk's body. He was so strong. Chapter 18:21 Death, Gods, Twisting. Chapter 18:21 Death, Gods, Twisting. He wasn't a match at all. He couldn't even touch the hem of his clothes. However, Wang Tai still refused to give up. The brown bones on his body expanded explosively once more, and his body was almost unable to withstand it. He tightly grasped the enormous heavy sword in his hand, and his breathing became hurried. The aura on his body also became different from that of a human's. He was going to transform into a magical beast. Once the power of the God's Bone taboo surpassed the limits of what his body could handle, it would take over his mind. And that way he would lose his heart and be unable to control himself. Long Fei endured the pain in his heart, stood up once again, and rushed forward, blocking in front of Wang Tai as he said solemnly, "If you want to see me die, then you will." As soon as he finished, Long Fei rushed forward. Desperate Man followed closely behind. No matter what price he had to pay, he would not let Long Fei die, even if it meant paying with his life. Come on. Didn't you want to go in? Come on. Long Fei roared. Wang Tai's pupils slowly changed, and the aura around her body gradually weakened. With a plop, she knelt on the ground as tears welled up in her eyes. I want to go in. I want to go in. I want to leave the Devil Island. I want to ask my father why he abandoned me, and why he exiled me within the Devil Island. Why? Heartbreaking. Tears welled up in his eyes. Long Fei never thought that a man would cry like this. He was a bandit. Originally, he wanted to enter the ancient holy battlefield, but he had never heard of it before. When the brown bone grew on his back, he was abandoned, was directly sent to Devil Island. Everything was gone. He didn't know why. It was like he was asking his father why he abandoned him. It was like he was asking a question. However, after so many years of hard work, I had finally reached the Devil Hills. As long as he enters the Devil Temple, he will definitely find a way to leave it, because there was a secret of leaving the Devil Island. However, his strength was also not enough for him to become a new king. Furthermore, once he released the power of taboos from his body, everyone would keep a distance from him, because he was a demon. Long Fei looked at him, walked up to him step by step, and said, I have said it before, I will become the master of the Devil Temple, and I will definitely let you enter. I believe it. The old gatekeeper and the monks slightly raised their heads to look at Long Fei. Long Fei shouted, What are you looking at? You will become my gatekeepers. The old monk's eyes did not move. Just as Long Fei was about to get angry, Desperate Man's body slightly trembled. He looked at the people behind Long Fei and said in a trembling voice, "THH, they're back." "Who are they?" Desperate Man didn't say it. Long Fei was very clear about this in his heart. Desperate Man immediately said, "Don't look at them. Don't look at them." Long Fei also immediately said, "Wang Tai, lower your head. Don't look at them." Hell Reaper. A single glance was enough to instantly kill the mad dog, who was ranked second in 10 disciples. When Wang Tai saw this scene, he immediately lowered his head, not daring to look up. 12 Hell Reaper came back and stood beside Long Fei. Their breaths were as cold and sinister as the freezing ice of hell. Long Fei's back seemed to be covered in a layer of frost. Unwell, Desperate Man kept on reminding Long Fei, "Don't look up, definitely don't look up, definitely don't look up." 12 Hell Reapers stood in a circle and stared at Long Fei. This kind of feeling was like being stared at by a god of death. Long Fei clenched his fists, feeling unspeakably uncomfortable in his heart. "I am very unhappy." Boom. Long Fei suddenly stood up. He raised his eyes. "Come, let's see who can kill who." However, right at this moment, the 12 Hell Reaper-s turned into 12 rays of light and flew towards the void gate. Long Fei raised his head and looked at the gigantic void door in the sky. Those eyes, it was the coldest gaze Long Fei had ever seen, with blue eyes, white hair that looked like crystals, and a body that shone like black crystals with a cold light. Cold. It was especially cold. Swoosh. When the void door closed, all the Hell Reaper disappeared. This was only the first day. They would appear for 3 days in a row, just like how the 10 sects would hold its 3-day exchange. After the 12 Hell Reaper-s disappeared, the 2 old monks returned to their normal lifeless eyes and didn't even look at Long Fei once. Hoo. Long Fei gasped heavily. F***CK. Ba Wanghua quickly ran over and said, "Long Fei, bad news." Long Fei swallowed a few more healing pellets, and his health point increased by quite a bit. Looking at Ba Wanghua's anxious expression, he asked, "What happened?" Ba Wanghua said, "The God Rare Sect's disciples were attacked. Sect Master Jin Chan was injured, for other disciples died. Huh. Long Fei was startled, then laughed. Isn't that a good thing? Seems like Hong Tu and Lin Tianyue have really made a move. Jean Chan was too arrogant, overestimating himself. It was good to let him suffer some injuries, so as to save him a lot of time. Let's go take a look. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "You can all go on stage tomorrow." Just as Long Fei and the rest were about to leave, a large group of people rushed out from all directions. These people were all disciples of the 10 sections. "Kid, do you want us to die with you? Get out of Devil Hills. You trash. You nearly killed all of us. We can't let them stay here any longer. Tomorrow, the demon lord will come again. If he does anything, we will all die here." Many people shouted. It was all because Long Fei had discovered these Hell Reaper. Long Fei's gaze swept across them as he coldly laughed. "Aren't all of you the same? You should always stay in the camp and pay attention to these demons." Speaking of demons, let me tell you, their names are Hell Reaper. They come from hell. They've appeared at the tournament every single year for 1,000 years. Just what are they looking for? Long Fei was not afraid in the slightest. "If you chase me away, you don't have the qualifications." An elder walked out. "Brat, I can let you stay, but you must not come out for the next 2 nights. If I can't do it, then don't blame us for being impolite." How strong was the Hell Reaper? They knew long ago. They didn't want to cause trouble. No one in the Devil Island dared to offend him. This was the forbidden land of gods. Without the protection of the sovereign, no one would care even if all the people here died. They had to protect themselves, because they could not afford to offend the Hell Powerhouse. Chapter 1822, The Fall of a Genius. Chapter 1822, The Fall of a Genius Afraid of Death. Everyone was afraid of death. He only had one life, and if he died, he would have nothing. The people of 10 sects were all afraid of death, and were also extremely afraid, especially when facing Hell Reaper. They had already known that these people came from hell. The infernal realm was a place that everyone was afraid of. A bunch of cowards and cowards. If it were me, I would have directly charged up. Returning back to where LV Shuangchuan lived, Long Fei said in disdain. Bawang Hua said, "Long Fei, we should still be more careful. I keep having the feeling that there's some kind of scheme here, or maybe there's something hidden here." Wang Tai looked out of the window and did not say a word. In the end, Long Fei swallowed a few healing pellets and said, "Don't worry about it for now. Take a break. We'll have a chance to fight tomorrow." Huff, 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 huff. LV Shuangchuan ran in while gasping for breath and said, "Not good." Long Fei was startled. "What's wrong again?" LV Shuangchuan said, "Xianyang Sex Chinzhan, Hong Tu, Lin Tianyue have all died." Long Fei said, "This is a good thing. What's wrong with it to our God Rare sect? This is a heavenly good thing. We have cleared the way." LV Shuangchuan said, "Not only them, only 2 people are still alive in 10 disciples. One is Nia Lin, and the other is the top-ranked Yen Nantian. I've received news that Yen Nantian is injured as well. If it was only Chen Zhan, Hong Tu, and Lin Tianyue who died, that only showed that Jin Chan had a little strength. However, if there were only 2 people left from 10 disciples' death, then things would be different." Long Fei said, "Who's that awesome?" LV Shuangchuan said, "Right now, the various large sects are in chaos. They have messed up all of their original plans and are currently adjusting themselves, at the same time investigating. Rumor has it that the demons did it." "Bullshit," Long Fei immediately shouted out. "If Hell Reaper were to make a move, Yen Nantian would definitely not just be injured and be instantly killed. Could it be those powerhouses that were not dispatched by the 10 disciples' sects? Forget it. None of this has anything to do with us. If we go to bed early, there will definitely be a good show tomorrow." Long Fei waved his hand. He did not want to bother with these matters. His mind was in a mess. Devil Temple, Hell Reaper. What had they been looking for 1,000 years? Why is it that every year the day of the exchange would appear? Could it be? Are they looking for someone? Lin Tianyue. Sigh. It's such a pity that he still wants to borrow the inherent skill and formation to tie up the Hell Reaper S. Long Fei sighed in his heart. He really did like those Hell Reaper S. These guys were too strong. If all of them could be used by him, then leveling up would be too easy. Since Lin Tianyue is dead, I have to think of a way to do it myself. Long Fei moved. Opening up the Sumi Rings S, they entered the ring. 2 huge mountain peaks were erected in the ring, and after finding a piece of flat ground, the idea slightly moved. Engraving formation. Buzz. Proficiency +1, engraving formation. Proficiency +1. The Sumi rings could only be stored in something that was not moving. Fiends like the Hell Reaper could not hide anything. If Long Fei wanted to tame them, he would have to trap them in an instant. As long as they could subdue these 12 Hell Reaper, then what the hell was a 10 sex? Long Fei quickly started his cultivation. He cultivated time and time again, and each time he devoted his entire heart and soul into it. Engraving formation. The engraving formation alone was not enough. Psychic's technique, the beast mastery, all of them needed to be upgraded. The entire night, Long Fei's idea did not stop there and continued to cultivate. Early morning, in the central plaza of Devil Hills, there was a sea of people. It was as if the events of last night had never happened, and no one talked about it, because demons often kill people, so this kind of thing couldn't be talked about. Long Fei, Wang Tai, Bawang Hua came to Jin Chan's side. Jean Chan's chest still had traces of blood on it, and he coldly glanced at Long Fei and snorted. Long Fei said, "Sect leader, it seems like we don't have enough manpower. Can the three of us as substitutes to go up on stage?" Jean Chan sneered and said, "Long Fei, you are only a substitute participant. Understand? Without my order, you don't have the qualifications to enter the stage. Even if there are less people now, I still won't let you go on stage. Because I don't want the god Rare Sect to lose face." "Humph!" Jean Chan sneered and walked to the seat of the god Rare Sect. The two elders' brows were knitted tightly. One of the elders walked to Long Fei's side and asked, "Where did you go last night? It's all because of you that 4 disciples died in God Rare Sect. Long Fei, who exactly are you?" Everyone blamed Long Fei's death for his disciples' death, because it was Long Fei who had angered the Hell Reaper. Long Fei was stunned. He had already scolded the 18 generations of Jean Chan's ancestors in his heart. "What does this have to do with me? Let's go. You don't want me to go on stage. I'm going to sleep." Long Fei did not even bother about him and directly walked out of the competition grounds. He was extremely unhappy, and if he did not agree to Zhang Sanqian's request, he would not have come here. Wang Tai and Ba Wang Hua followed closely behind. Jean Chan looked at Long Fei's departing figure and snorted coldly, "Trash, even if I have to die, I will not let a nominal disciple like you lose face for God Rare Sect." Long Fei leaned on the tree stump, and the idea entered the Sumi rings as to continue cultivating. Ding, ding, ding. At the same time, he was also thinking about how he could capture Hell Reaper. Even if he couldn't capture everything, capturing 1 or 2 would be considered good. "Sister, do you have any ideas?" The Sleeping Beauty did not react. Long Fei also did not wake up, but once again he asked the Tai Tan King inside the Devil's Sword about how strong the cultivation was. So he did not have any response. "Hell Reaper, I don't believe I can't catch you." Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and continued cultivating. In the arena, Yanantian wins. Yanantian wins. Yanantian wins. Yan Nanshan's victorious voice sounded unceasingly. He was the head of the 10 disciples, the Almighty. His cultivation level was frighteningly high, and it was the same for the auxiliary method, in a state where no one was able to match him. The day passed. The sect Yan Nantian had the highest score in, and his was also the person with the highest score. As expected of the head of the 10 disciples, the Almighty, as long as he takes part in the competition, he will be number 1. This result is comparable to the flying goddess from back then. Even if it's the flying goddess S, they can't compare to it. I heard that Yan Nantian is still injured. He's really too powerful. Praise about Yan Nantian could be heard everywhere, other than Yan Nantian. The ones who talked the most were the God Rare Sect, the place where trash and trash gathered and came here to make fun of him. The God Rare Sect simply didn't have the qualifications to stay in the 10 sections. All of God Rare Sect's competitions were at the bottom. If they failed again this year, the God Rare Sect would be replaced by another sect. The chances of him being able to turn the situation around were slim. Chapter 1823. Anger. Chapter 1823. Anger. Evening in the forest. To Long Fei, the end of the competition was the end of the day of cultivation. Who, after a day and a night of cultivation, I finally had a breakthrough. Long Fei smiled lightly. Right when he was about to leave, the sound of an argument came from another part of the small forest. "Nyelin." Long Fei was startled and immediately walked over. Junior Sister Nya, you've seen today's results. No one can stop me, so I'll definitely become this year's new king. When we get married, given the strength of our sect, we'll definitely be able to. Without waiting for the man to finish, Nye Lin said coldly, Yen Nantian, how many times do you have to say it before you understand? You are you, I am me. Please don't keep me together with you. The handsome man standing opposite him was Yen Nantian, the head of the 10 disciples. Yen Nantian laughed bitterly. Why? Junior sister, Nya, you weren't like this in the past. Why have you changed since you returned from Holy Abyss Cliff? Is it because of that god rare sex trash? If it's because of him, today I want him to die under my sword. Yen Nantian said coldly. Nye Lin said, I have never changed before. You and I are never people of the same world. The things we pursue are also different, and our methods are also different. He did not finish his words. Yen Nantian suddenly took a step forward, his eyes staring straight at Nye Lin. Everything I did was for you. Who? Suddenly, Yen Nantian bellowed. The killing intent on his body suddenly became stronger. Get out here! In the dense forest, Long Fei saw a familiar figure, LV Shuangchuan. Immediately, Long Fei smiled as he walked out and said, I'm sorry to bother you guys. You guys continue. Nye Lin looked at Long Fei, and his expression slightly changed. He immediately explained, Long Fei, we are not as you have imagined. You are Long Fei. Yen Nantian laughed disdainfully. As he spoke, Yen Nantian walked forward in large strides to stand in front of Long Fei. He sized him up and smiled. A mere nominal disciple, and I heard that he's even a nominal disciple whose talent has been crippled. Have all of your god rare sex people died? Nye Lin also hurriedly walked over and directly pulled Long Fei's hand and said, Let's go. Don't bother with this madman. Seeing Nye Lin holding onto Long Fei's hand, Yen Nantian's eyes were about to spew out flames of anger. He took a step forward and instantly appeared in front of Long Fei, blocking his path. Am I wrong? If the god rare sect wasn't completely dead, why would we allow trash like you to participate in the exchange? Oh, I forgot. Trash like you hasn't come up on stage yet. God rare sect. As expected, the names were well written, and all of them were trash. I wonder if Flying Goddess was crippled back then, or if his limbs were healthy. Maybe in that aspect he was crippled. As soon as he finished, Long Fei raised his gaze and moved his right hand. Boom! The fire dragon knife fell into his hands. In this split second, Long Fei took a step forward and roared in his heart, unmoving bright king's slash. Shwa! The flames were like a dragon. The blade chi wreaked havoc arrogantly, enveloping Yen Nantian in an instant and slashing down crazily with the powerful move of the Akalanatha Inferno. At this moment, Yen Nantian didn't even move, but had a look of disdain on his face. With a cold smile, he said, Is this all you have? Sword slave. Shwa. An old man who was stroking his back came out from behind Yen Nantian. He held a short sword in his hand and continuously made a few moves, blocking all of the Akalanatha Inferno in a short period of time. Who dares to fight here? Outside the forest, a patrol team rushed in and immediately asked respectfully when they saw Yen Nantian. Why? Does this kid want to make a move on you? Yen Nantian shouted coldly, Scram! The patrol squad was slightly startled. Long Fei squinted his eyes as he clenched his fists. Nye Lin immediately pulled Long Fei back, gently shook his head, and said, No, the action was extremely intimate, causing Yen Nantian to become even angrier. He clenched his fists tightly and bellowed, You dog! Long Fei bellowed, and both his fists exploded. Boom. I can insult anyone, but just not his mother. The chi on Long Fei's body exploded out, and his fists moved straight towards his opponent. At this moment, rumble! A figure descended, and with a violent shake, A strong pressure directly crushed Long Fei. He stared at Long Fei angrily and said, "Brat, are you courting death?" More and more people gathered in the forest. LV Shuangchuan also rushed over with Wang Tai and Bawang Hua. Standing beside Long Fei, they became cautious. Long Fei said in an ice-cold voice, "Let's see who's courting death." Yan Nantian said with a cold smile, "If not for the presence of so many people today, you would have already died. You understand?" Humph. A nominal disciple whose talent has been crippled dares to be so impudent in front of me? Who the hell do you think you are? If you're in the competition, you're just a dead dog. Long Fei said, "You're a dead dog, right? I'll let you know what a dead dog is right now." The aura moved again and directly broke through the pressure. At this time, two elders from the God Rare sect and Jin Chan walked over, causing Jin Chan to shout out, "Long Fei, are you done yet? Get the hell back. God Rare sect has lost all his face because of you." And then the two clan elders immediately apologized to Yan Nantian. "I am truly sorry. We did not discipline you well. I hope that everyone will forgive us." Yan Nantian laughed coldly. "Go back and properly take care of this dog. Next time if he appears in front of me, he'll just turn into a dead dog. Understand? Long Fei, see you in the stage tomorrow if you have the guts, but I don't think you dare. A waste dares to go up on stage." "Ha ha ha." Yan Nantian laughed proudly, then said to Nia Lin, "Junior sister Nia, think carefully about the matter that I have brought up. A piece of trash like you is not worthy of you at all." Then Yan Nantian laughed as he left. Many people behind him sneered disdainfully at Long Fei. "A toad wants to eat a swan. Why don't you take a piss and see what kind of virtue you have? He's just a nominal disciple of the God Rare sect." Countless sounds of ridicule rang out. Along the way, people were pointing fingers at him. Jin Chan's face was extremely ugly as he gritted his teeth so hard that they crackled. In the tent, Jin Chan furiously glared at Long Fei and said, "Long Fei, you have completely lost face for God Rare sect." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei's eyes suddenly stared. The spirit chi on his body surged. Long Fei kicked Jin Chan to the ground, then fiercely stomped on his face and said, "If you don't let me go up on stage tomorrow, I will kill you. Do you understand?" His aura was savage and savage, like that of a wild beast. "Yan Nantian, if I don't kill you tomorrow, I will change my surname to yours. 5 chapters. Thank you for your support." Who's going to tremble? Who's going to tremble? For the entire night, Long Fei did not rest and continued to cultivate the engraving formation spirit communication technique, Beast Mastery. At night, 12 Hell Reaper S appeared once again. However, this time no one died. Early morning, it was the second day of the tournament. Yan Nantian is here. Yan Nantian, Yan Nantian, Yan Nantian. The head of 10 disciples is destined to become this year's king. Who can match up to him? He is even more powerful than the number 1 genius of the Flying Goddess. Furthermore, he does not even put the Flying Goddess in his eyes. He is also qualified. Flying Goddess has become a God Rare sect. Look at the current God Rare sect. They are all just a bunch of cripples. When Yan Nantian walked out, he looked like an idol star, causing countless people to scream in fear. Yan Nantian's face looked indifferent. There was a hint of disdain in his eyes. He was definitely going to win this year's exchange. Once he stepped into the Devil Temple, he would become the number 1 powerhouse, and he firmly believed that he would be the second person to leave the Devil Island. His target was the ancient holy battlefield. Senior sister Nia Lin is here. Aside from Yan Nantian, there is only one other 10 disciples. I heard that Yen Nantian confessed to Nielin yesterday, but in the end, there were people who stepped in, and Nielin actually rejected him. Are you for real? Isn't this Nielin too arrogant? Yen Nantian walked in front of Nielin, smiled slightly, and said, Junior Sister Nia, today is the day of the spirit communication technique duel. Nielin did not speak, his expression somewhat ice-cold. The elder beside her immediately gave an obsequious smile. Nantian, your spirit communication technique is also the 10 rating gift. It should be you letting Nielin go. Yen Nantian laughed, looked at Nielin, and said, Junior Sister Nia, have you considered the conditions that I proposed yesterday? Nielin raised his eyes and said, I haven't considered it. Yen Nantian said, Then you directly agreed to it. Nielin replied, No, I didn't consider it because I simply won't agree to it. Yen Nantian's brows tightened, and his words contained a bit of anger. Because of Long Fei? Nielin intentionally angered Yen Nantian. Yes, it's because of him. What about it? Nielin. An elder shouted. At this moment, under Jin Chan's lead, the disciples of the god Rare Sect walked out slowly. In the midst of the crowd, Long Fei's figure could be seen. Humph! Yen Nantian was very unhappy. He stared at Nielin and said, You will agree, when the time comes, I'm afraid you will kneel down and beg me. With a wave of his sleeve, he let out a cold snort and left in large strides. An elder of the Xianyang sect immediately walked over and asked, Nielin, what are you planning to do to offend Yen Nantian at this time? Are you crazy? It's your honor to have Yen Nantian set his eyes on you. You don't even have the time to curry favor with him, yet you reject him without even thinking about it. What do you want to do? Huh. With a few shouts, the faces of the Xianyang sect elders became ugly. Yen Nantian soared like the sun into the sky. If no accidents happened, he would definitely become this year's rookie king, and his sect would also become the head of the 10 sections. If they offended him, it would be very disadvantageous for Xianyang's sect. Nielin's eyes flickered with a teary light, and she felt a little sad. She couldn't help but look at Long Fei, and for some reason, she felt as if there was something in her heart that she wanted to entrust to him. The corner of her mouth slightly hooked upwards, revealing an incomparably moving smile. After the people from 10 sects sat down, today is the second day of the exchange, and today's topic is the spirit communication technique, beast mastery, and engraving formation. I hope that all of you disciples will show your true strength and bring glory to the sect. Let's begin. 10 sects, please send out your disciples. As soon as he finished, the various sects had already sent out their disciples that they had selected beforehand. Only the disciples of God Rare Sect walked out. Jin Chan said slightly, The first item is the beast mastery. Without waiting for him to say, Long Fei saw Yen Nantian walk out, took a step forward, and walked out without even asking for Jin Chan's permission, and completely ignored him. Jin Chan's face darkened and said, Long Fei, do you know the consequences of your failure? Long Fei turned around and coldly said, Is there any difference if you lose or not? You, Jin Chan coldly snorted and said, I can forbid you from going on stage. Long Fei's voice became even colder and said, If you want to die, you can try. And then Long Fei strode onto the stage. Ignoring the furious Jin Chan's expression was also extremely ugly. There seems to be internal strife in the God Rare Sect. Look, the God Rare Sect actually sent out a substitute disciple. I heard that this guy is a nominal disciple, yet he sent out this kind of person? Sending out some trash? Isn't this disrespecting the exchange? Probably a broken can. That's right. This year should be the last exchange meeting of God Rare Sect. I've already found the pot. As expected of the God Rare Sect. Discussions, ridicule, and scorn rang endlessly around him. Long Fei turned a deaf ear to all of it and stood quietly on the stage. But Wang Hua was a little worried. Can he use beast mastery? LV Shuangchuan said, "Didn't you perform it during the last assessment?" That's because before his talent was crippled, his talent was now completely crippled. Jin Chan's face darkened and said, "If he loses, I'll kill him." Wang Tai raised his eyes and stared at Jin Chan. In the arena, Yan Nantian sneered as he looked at Long Fei and said, "I never thought that you would actually dare to step on the stage. This is good as well. I'll trample you under my feet in front of Nialin." Ha ha ha. Long Fei ignored him. First round, Beast Mastery competition. Please come out the Demon Beast. They were all Demon Beast of the same kind, 5-star level. This kind of Demon Beast had a fiery temper and was the hardest Demon Beast to tame in the Beast Trainer. The shortest amount of time to win. Disciples, please prepare yourself. You have 3 minutes to prepare. As soon as he finished, the people on the stage started to discuss. Violent Bull, I have never seen anyone submit to this kind of demon beast before. This guy's temper is too bad. Wanting to tame it within 3 to 5 days is simply impossible. He had a bad temper. It was also wild and hostile towards humans. This kind of demon beast, beast mastery, was basically useless. However, this was also a true test of the beast trainer's ability. Suddenly, someone on the stage exclaimed and said, "Look, Yan Nantian has already made his move. Doesn't he need time to prepare? Isn't this too fast? You don't need to understand the nature of demon beast at all." As expected of Yan Nantian, of course he didn't need to prepare, because he was already prepared. The corner of Yan Nantian's eyes shot a glance at the nearby Long Fei, laughed coldly, and said, "Brat, just wait for you to kneel in front of me and tremble." At this moment, Long Fei raised his right hand slightly, looked at the presided elders, and said, "Done." Chapter 1825. Brother is just a legend. Chapter 1825. Brother is just a legend completed. Everyone was stunned. No one could react in time. Even Yan Nantian was startled and couldn't help but burst out laughing. Ha ha! Boy, are you dreaming? Ha ha! Ha ha! The surrounding crowd also began to laugh maniacally. "Kid, posturing isn't like this. Do you use the beast mastery?" As expected, the people from the God Rare sect are all trash. It's one thing for them to be trash, but they even sent a little kid to compete with us. Are they trying to make us laugh? Brat, you've succeeded. I laughed, ha ha ha. Violent Bull, its wild nature is strong, and it submitted in less than half a minute. Just him? You know what is beast mastery? What kind of joke is this? They were all ridiculing Long Fei. Even a top beast trainer would not be able to subdue a violent bull in such a short amount of time. Jin Chan's expression was incomparably ugly. The 2 elders and a few junior brothers beside him also disdainfully said, "He has already lost all face for God Rare sect." Trash is trash. Sect leader senior brother, how could you let a nominal disciple represent us? This is not a loss. This is completely losing our God Rare sect's face. Wang Tai said coldly, "Did you lose too much yesterday?" Jin Chan immediately shouted out, "What did you say?" Wang Tai looked at Jin Chan and enunciated each and every word. "Did you lose too much yesterday?" "You little nominal disciple, I think you're tired of living. How dare you act so arrogantly in front of me?" Just as Jin Chan was about to attack and teach Wang Tai a lesson, but Wang Hua suddenly said, "Stop quarreling. Look at Long Fei. What is he doing?" The 10 violent bull were all pushed out in iron cages. At this moment, Long Fei walked to the side of the iron cage and immediately opened it. The disciple on the stage shivered and immediately said, Brat, are you crazy? This is the 5-star monster. You don't want to live? We still need to live. Brat, don't disturb our beast master. Yanantion also sneered. Presided elders immediately said, Long Fei, don't mess around. Once the violent bull was released, then perhaps no one would be able to complete this beast taming competition. And it might hurt. Long Fei did not care about it, and immediately opened the cage, looked at the violent bull, and said, Come out. The violent bull exhaled heavily and walked out of the iron cage, step by step. It obediently stood beside Long Fei like a beast. Long Fei's gaze swept across and said, Roar. The violent bull released a furious roar that shook the sky. Long Fei bellowed, The sound is not loud enough. Use your greatest strength. The violent bull's legs pushed against the ground, and its entire body suddenly stood up. The strength in its abdomen exploded, rumble, and then he used all his strength to roar. Woo! The sound wave was like a wave as it exploded out in a visible manner. The entire martial arts practice hall was shaken by the sound waves, causing everyone to be dumbfounded. Long Fei's gaze swept across. Laugh. All of you are F*King laughing for me. Keep laughing. Don't you guys like laughing? Laughing loudly for lousy. F*CK. He let out a loud roar. Long Fei stared at Yanantion and said, Who do you think you are? Stomp me to death in the arena? You have the right. I won't even bother to step on trash like you. Understand? However, don't worry, this is only the beginning. Finished. Long Fei walked down the stage without even looking, with the violent bull obediently following behind him. The entire audience was silent. He was stunned. Completing it in less than half a minute, or even less, was something that only existed in legends. There were no such legends at all. Top beast trainer, the beast trainer ancestor, was also unable to do so. This was really a legend. Everyone was slapped hard on the face, and it was the kind of slap that was done with force. He almost did not have time to react, and he did not even believe that Long Fei could win against him. However, the violent bull was completely obedient to Long Fei. The facts proved everything. This slap on his face was incomparably painful. His expression was extremely ugly. Yanantion's eyes shook, the spirit chi on his body exploded, and he shouted, Rumble! The violent bull in the cage exploded and died instantly. The whole scene shook once again. But Long Fei did not turn back to look at him. Long Fei walked back to his seat in the god Rare Sect and looked at Long Fei in shock, unable to say a single word. Long Fei's eyes turned cold. He stared at Jin Chan and said, If you dare speak rudely to my brother again, I will kill you too. His eyes were extremely cold. Jin Chan's mind trembled, and for some reason, a wave of fear rose from his heart. Several disciples were unwilling to accept this and said, Long Fei, you dare to taunt the sect master. Are you courting death? Long Fei didn't pay any attention to him because these people didn't have the qualifications for him to answer them. First round of beast mastery, victory to god Rare Sect. Long Fei, do you want to talk about your experiences with beast mastery? Yes, it's an exchange. Naturally, there was an exchange of pointers as well. Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei laughed coldly and said, Don't be infatuated with this brother. This brother is just a legend. As for experience, why should I tell you? Extremely arrogant, Long Fei's understanding was that of training by death. After 2 days and 2 nights of nonstop training, who could be like him? Long Fei's words made many people unhappy. Too presumptuous. What's that? Too arrogant. If you win this round, you will be able to rise up into the sky. It's just luck. If you have the guts, you can win the next round. Long Fei was too arrogant. Even LV Shuangchuan couldn't help but mutter under his breath, "Brother, aren't you being a little too arrogant?" Long Fei said, "What's this? There are even more arrogant ones." LV Shuangchuan was secretly speechless. A few minutes later, presided elders walked forward again and said, "The second match, the exchange of formations. Whoever can refine the strongest formation in the shortest amount of time will be the victor. Disciples, please step forward." Jin Chan looked at Long Fei. Long Fei looked at him. When Yan Nantian stepped out, Long Fei also stepped out. "He knows engraving formation." Jin Chan looked at Ba Wanghua. Ba Wanghua shook his head. "I don't know. This kid is here again. You want to act cool again? Senior brother Yan Nantian, destroy him." Yan Nantian is an outstanding talent in 10-rating gift. Even the Divine Moon Sex Lin Tianyue is not his match. The engraving formation can easily crush everything. "Kid, let's see how you can still act so arrogantly." Long Fei had caused a lot of public outrage, and many people wanted Yan Nantian to trample them to death. He could not allow Long Fei to kneel on the ground and beg for forgiveness. Yan Nantian looked at Long Fei coldly and said, "Engraving formation, I will let you know how powerful I am. Let the duel begin." As soon as he finished, Yan Nantian quickly formed a seal and set up the array, without waiting for him to finish setting up the formation. Long Fei gently raised his right hand and said, "Completed." "Are you crazy? So fast." Chapter 1826, Array Competition. Chapter 1826, Array Competition. It was so fast that it was hard to believe. Many people who were standing up did not even have the time to sit down, yet Long Fei had already said that it was over. What incredible speed! The dueling platform trembled. They all looked at Long Fei like he was an idiot. "Are you crazy? Are you sick? Do you know what it means to draw a spell? Is there something wrong with your head?" Everyone was cursing at Long Fei. How could an array be so simple? The beast mastery might have some luck attribute. It just so happened that it was a success, but the engraving formation needed to engrave lines and condense formations, and every step required time, not something that could be created just by luck. The inscriptions and beast taming techniques were completely different. It's only been a few seconds. 10 seconds? It was still 15 seconds. Was he really that fast? It was definitely a joke. Many of them began to loudly ridicule him. "Brat, do you even know what an array is? Do you think a 3-year-old plays house? What the hell is this disciple of the God Rare sect doing? Yan Nantian hasn't even recovered. Is he fine? I don't believe it." "I don't believe it either." Yan Nanshan's talent in formations surpasses that of the 10 rating, and he's even stronger than the moon god Sex Lin Tianyue's formation strength. "Brat, are you sure you're not here to tease us?" Doubt rose around the stands. Jin Chan also frowned and said, "Does he know how to draw formations? How could he be so fast? Engraving formation is a competition of time, but what's more important is its attack, defensive power, and not just its speed. What is the use of a formation created in such a short amount of time?" Ba Wanghua firmly said, "I believe in Long Fei." Wang Tai did not speak and only nodded heavily. "You believe me?" "What's the use of believing? He can't change the fact. Just now, he was lucky to be able to tame beasts. He doesn't have much luck in refining arrays." "That's right. We will definitely lose our God Rare sex face this time. Sect leader senior brother, when he gets down, we must teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he really doesn't know where he is. He actually dared to teach us a lesson after thinking that he won by dog shit." At this time, Wang Tai's eyes turned cold as he stared at the disciple who spoke. You go? If it was you, I'm afraid it would be even more embarrassing." "Kid, what did you say?" The disciple shouted. Wang Tai said straightforwardly, "You're just a piece of trash." You're courting death." The disciple became angry. Jin-chan shouted, "Can't you all be quieter?" The disciple snorted coldly, pointed at Wang Tai and said, "Brat, be careful." "Completed." At this time, Yen Nantian faintly said, "I've completed it. Senior brother, Yen is done." What incredible speed. Did you see the formation beneath his feet? The runes shined brightly, and a halo of light radiated outwards. This formation is definitely not simple. Does that even need to be said? He is Yen Nantian, the head of the 10 disciples. Do you think those trash can compare up to him? The scene was in an uproar. To be able to finish refining the array in such a short period of time, it had to be said that Yen Nantian was a super genius. Congratulations, senior brother, Yen. Congratulations. Congratulations, senior brother Yen. You will definitely win today's competition. Several disciples on the arena were flattering him. With a proud smile, Yen Nantian walked to Long Fei's side and said, "Kid, you call that a formation? Can he trap an ant?" Yen Nantian glanced at the runes beneath Long Fei's feet. None of them had any power or light. He laughed coldly. "Bullshit." The strength of the formation depended on 2 things. First, the second was the light of power that shone from the array formation. Compared to the arrays that Yen Nantian had created, Long Fei's array formation seemed like it had drawn a few lines on the ground, as though it was a child scribbling on the ground. "This is a formation?" Everyone questioned. Long Fei looked at Yen Nantian with a complacent smile and said, "Brat, you actually said that my formation is weak. Why don't you come in and give it a try?" "Who are you calling boy?" One of the disciples shouted. "Not at all. You should be called senior brother Yen, understand? Lame duck." Long Fei looked at him coldly and said, "Do you believe that lousy here will not have a face?" His eyes were cold, and filled with killing intent. The disciple's mind went cold and immediately did not dare to speak. Yen Nantian smiled slightly and said, "Enter your array? Ha ha ha. Since you wish for me to enter your spirit formation, then you should also enter mine." He did not even put the formation refined by Long Fei in his eyes, because that was no formation at all. Long Fei replied, "No problem." After saying that, Long Fei strode to the side of the array Yen Nantian was refining. Looking at him, he smiled and said, "Let's go in together." Yen Nantian laughed coldly. "I broke a formation like yours in a second." As soon as he finished, Yen Nantian stepped inside. Long Fei also followed and stepped in. Buzz, buzz. The 2 formations released a humming sound as they exploded with light. The light that erupted from Long Fei's array was not weaker than Yen Nantian's, causing many array masters to be slightly shocked. This was a battle between formations. This was the simplest method. Of course, this was also an unfair test. This was because Yen Nantian's cultivation was much stronger than Long Fei, and the stronger he was, the easier it would be for him to break through the array. With Long Fei's cultivation, he would be able to break the array for a long time. Whoever used less time would win. This was very unfair to Long Fei. When Yen Nantian found out that Long Fei had quickly completed refining the array, his original intention had changed from a defensive formation to an offensive formation, because he had already thought of everything. If you want to compete with Long Fei in arrays, then let Long Fei enter into arrays. Long Fei could not come out. He would die inside. However, Long Fei's mouth curved upwards, revealing an evil smile. "You will soon taste the taste of my array formation." "Who?" Long Fei exhaled a breath of air as he stood in the middle of the array formation that Yen Nantian had created. His right hand moved. Boom! With a loud noise, the fire dragon knife landed in his hands. Then, strength can cut through everything. No matter how strong the formation is, its power can be broken. Closed his eyes slightly. The idea was everywhere, and his understanding of formations was much better than Yen Nantian, God's martial continent, was a grandmaster at the great circle of formation. Chaos realm was the same. These were all experiences. In that instant, Long Fei found the true essence within the array in a few seconds. Unmoving bright king slash. Boom. A Akalanatha infernal king blade. Chi. Slash down. Rumble. His true I was shattered. The formation was broken. Long Fei walked out of the formation. And in the other place, incredible. Chapter 1827. Yen Nantian, who is covered in feces. Chapter 1827. Yen Nantian, who is covered in feces. Long Fei was the first to exit for half a second. It was also at this time. A loud buzzing sound came from the array formation refined by Long Fei. Long Fei's array formation also instantly exploded. However, at the same time as it exploded, there was a sudden change in the array formation. The power of the second array formation also burst out. Array within a formation. Impossible to inscribe two formations in such a short amount of time. No one can do it. So what if I can do it? Even if it's the array in the middle, isn't that just garbage? Look at Yen Nantian's body. So smelly. It was extremely smelly. Yen Nantian's entire body was covered with demon beast's feces. Even his mouth was it. His face, head, and entire body was it. Some of the even more diluted feces slowly slid down his face. Puchi. Ha ha ha. It's the feces of the demon beast. Ha ha ha. Many people forcefully held back their laughter, but in the end, their faces were completely red, and they couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. It's shit. Too smelly. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. There were also 2 mountains in Long Fei's Sumi Ringzes, and there were quite a few demon beasts in the mountains. Long Fei looked at Yen Nantian and laughed. So that's the feeling of death? No, that's not right. It should be the taste of feces, right? Cluck, cluck, cluck. Yen Nantian clenched his teeth until it made a cracking sound because his mouth was tight. The feces on his mouth was eaten, his stomach churned, and he almost vomited. He did not expect this to happen. He had never thought that Long Fei's ordinary array formation would actually contain such a powerful force. He was shocked, but he did not put it in his eyes. Because he was Yen Nantian. He was the head of the 10 disciples. He could easily break through this sort of array, but he had not expected that there would be a second array hidden within the array. Moreover, the first array was broken and the second array instantly exploded. Thousands of piles of demon beast feces burst out. Who would have thought that Long Fei would put demon beast's feces in the array? Long Fei. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Yen Nantian was so angry that smoke rose from his head, and he roared. Long Fei said, "Wow, so angry that smoke is coming out from the top of your head? That's not right. It seems like that pile of feces on top of your head is smoking." Many people in the surrounding area began to laugh. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The shit is smoking. This caused Yen Nantian's expression to become even more unsightly. And then Yen Nantian's eyes darkened. He took a step forward, shouted in a solemn voice, "I will kill you." This was a huge loss of face. He had never been in such a sorry state before. Never. He was the head of the 10 disciples, this year's new king. Anyone would have to be respectful to him. But with his current appearance, which was covered in feces, so many people had seen him, everyone would mock him in the future. The rage raged. It rolled over and over. His killing intent also surged crazily as a powerful pressure roared towards Long Fei. Long Fei stood in place motionlessly. He did not try to defend at all. Long Fei, be careful. Brother Fei. Ba Wanghua and Wang Tai's faces tensed up. Nie Lin secretly clenched his fists. Long Fei stood there and laughed. According to the laws of the exchange, whoever fights on the stage fighting on their own will be disqualified. Come on, Yan Nantian, you trash. Who do you think you are? Stealing a woman from me? Come if you have the guts. Long Fei scolded, laughing with eyes full of disdain. Just a mere Yan Nantian. He could play however he wanted. Don't provoke him, or Long Fei would let him know how stupid he was. Everyone was looking at him. If he were to make a move against Long Fei, his qualification to compete would be revoked. Then, everything he had done would be in vain. You want me to fall for it? Humph. Long Fei, tomorrow is the stage of the competition. I will let you live for one day. Yan Nantian suddenly stopped. He was very calm, because he knew very well what he wanted. He wanted to enter the Devil Temple. He wanted to obtain the supreme inheritance. A mere Long Fei was only a stumbling block on his path forward. If he did not kick him today, he would definitely kick him tomorrow. Yan Nantian stopped. Long Fei laughed and said, "Stay away from me. Your body is covered in feces, and your mouth is filled with feces." Yan Nantian clenched his fists so hard that they sounded like explosions. He really wanted to punch Long Fei in the head. He couldn't, not today. Long Fei said, "Yan Nantian, what's the use of talking about you? Your shitty look is actually the head of some 10 disciples." Yan Nantian said solemnly, "Long Fei, don't be complacent. I will let you die tomorrow." Finished. Yan Nanshan's gaze turned cold as he walked down, with large strides. Hey. Yan Nan shit, don't be in such a hurry to leave. There's still another round. Why can't you show me your spirit communication technique? Long Fei said. He silently thought, he can still keep his cool after being scolded like this. Rob. Long Fei wanted Yan Nantian to make a move, because the moment he attacked, he fell into Long Fei's trap. Leave me with 1 day of my life. Your father shall spare your life for 1 day, right? Long Fei walked down the stage. Presided elders walked up to the stage and announced loudly, "God Rare Sect wins." Ha ha ha. Jean Chan immediately laughed out loud. "Good boy, you have a plan. Not only did you win, you also humiliated Yan Nantian greatly. Hi. You are really high? Ha. Long Fei walked back to the position of the God Rare Sect. Jean Chan got up and said, "Long Fei, not bad." Long Fei didn't even look at him. Ba Wanghua laughed. "So powerful. Let's see how angry that Yan Nantian is. It's so soothing." Wang Tai softly said 2 words, "Amazing." The other disciples had disdainful looks on their faces, but their eyes were filled with jealousy. Jean Chan said, "If you were to go up with the spirit communication technique, I believe you and win another round. If I were to personally take part in tomorrow's competition and win a few rounds, then this year's strongest sect would be our God Rare Sect." A competition of the spirit communication technique. Long Fei looked at Yan Nantian, who had disappeared in the distance. He should be looking for a place to wash his feces, so he should not be participating in the spirit communication techniques competition. Long Fei said, "You should find someone else to go with the spirit communication technique." "You don't want to go?" Jean Chan asked. "Why not?" "Long Fei, you are a disciple of the God Rare Sect. You must give up everything for the God Rare Sect. Furthermore, we must definitely defeat the Nie Lin of the Xianyang sect. This way, our God Rare Sect will be able to stomp all of the 10 disciples beneath our feet. Ha ha ha. He acted as if all the credit was due to him. Long Fei was very unhappy. From the very beginning, he was very unhappy. Hearing such an order, he became even more unhappy and said, "All right, I'll go." Table of contents. Table of contents. That's more like it. Seeing Long Fei's agreement, Jin Chan laughed and said, "Long Fei, you must remember that you are only a nominal disciple of the God Rare sect. Your status is low. As long as I say it, you cannot be my nominal disciple. Of course, I can also make you an inner court disciple with a single sentence. Do you understand?" He had an arrogant and proud look on his face. Long Fei won 2 matches, which made Jin Chan's heart inflate. Just the 2 matches he won were enough for him, the God Rare sect, to brag about himself. However, the greed of humans would never stop. He wanted more, even wanted to become a new king, to be able to enter the Devil Temple and obtain the unparalleled inheritance. Long Fei was one of his chess pieces, and was like a sharp sword that opened up a path for him. Must be used. Long Fei smiled and nodded. I understand very well. You are the sect master after all." "Very good. It's fine as long as you understand that I'm the sect master. Your little life is within my control. Even Zhang Sanqian will not be able to protect you." Jin Chan said complacently, completely disregarding the ice-cold look in Long Fei's eyes. "In the next match, you must win the competition for the spirit communication technique." Jin Chan now believed in Long Fei very much. The beast mastery could kill Yan Nantian in an instant, and the engraving formation could also kill in an instant. Furthermore, it had caused Yan Nantian to lose a lot of face, and following was the spirit communication technique. Not only Jin Chan, a lot of people in the audience felt that Long Fei would kill him in an instant. As a matter of practice, Brother Long Fei, can you tell me about your experiences in inscription formation, and how you were able to create the formation within? One must know that even a master of formations would not be able to complete a formation like this in a short period of time. Although the formation you're refining might be a bit clumsy, it's still a formation within a formation. The presided elders asked. The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up. Without waiting for him to speak, Jin Chan stood up and said, "This question is very simple because he is a disciple of my God Rare sect." It's that simple. Jin Chan was afraid that Long Fei would be incomparably arrogant, so it would be better to let him show off. Presided elders laughed and said, "All right, looks like God Rare sect came prepared this year. The next round is a competition of spirit communication technique. I would like to ask, will Brother Long Fei still fight? Jin Chan laughed. Of course, he is a disciple of my god rare sect, and I will even allow him to participate. As soon as Jin Chan finished his words, the surroundings were filled with discussions. It's really him. This is truly unfathomable. To be able to kill Yan Nantian in 2 consecutive rounds, what kind of miracle would the spirit communication technique do? I'm really looking forward to it. Would he kill everyone in an instant? It's possible. Hearing the discussions of the crowd, Jin Chan was even more pleased as he said loudly, "Rest assured, I will definitely not disappoint you. Long Fei, bring out your true abilities and let them experience the God Rare Sex Spirit Communication Technique." And then Jin Chan said in a low voice, "Long Fei, you must win this round. Understand?" Long Fei did not speak. All right, then we look forward to Long Fei's godly performance once again. Presided elders looked at Long Fei and said, "For the next round, please send out your disciples from the various big sections." Yan Nantian did not make an appearance. Xianyang sect sent Nialin. Furthermore, her spirit communication technique also exceeded the existence of the 10 rating. He had seen Nialin's spirit communication technique before. It was very, very strong. Nialin looked at Long Fei and said, "Senior brother Long Fei, I will do my best." Long Fei laughed and said, "There's no need to go all out." Huh. Nialin asked, "Why?" Long Fei did not answer. At this time, 10 different demon beasts came out. The beast mastery and the spirit communication technique were very different. The beast mastery only controlled the demon beast, but the spirit communication technique and the demon beast signed a contract to fight. Moreover, after you sign the spirit communication contract, the demon beast will also grow along with you. I'll give you 3 minutes to prepare. Whoever finishes it in the shortest amount of time will be number 1. After presided elders finished speaking, he looked at Long Fei again, because during the previous 2 times, he simply did not see clearly how Long Fei had attacked. In this instant, just as presided elders' voice fell, Long Fei raised his right hand slightly. The entire audience was in an uproar. Is it done? Heavens, what speed is this? He isn't a genius at all. He's a genius who can crush all other geniuses. Seeing Long Fei raise his hand, Jin Chan laughed complacently. Ha ha! Long Fei, you really did not disappoint me. Ha ha! Congratulations, sect leader senior brother. After winning the spirit communication technique, our God rare sex points will be at 2nd place. After tomorrow's match, we will be this year's rookie king. Ha ha ha! Jin Chan was ecstatic in his heart as he laughed loudly. He thought to himself, "Fortunately, I brought Long Fei here, but don't even think about God Rare Sect. All of the glory belongs to me. You are just a nominal disciple. You do not deserve all of the glory." Ha ha ha! Thinking of this, Jin Chan became even more ecstatic in his heart. "Long Fei, you're just a dog to me." At this time, presided elders looked at Long Fei and asked with a face full of shock, "Have you finished?" Long Fei turned around to look at Jin Chan, grinned, and said, "No." Presided elders was startled, then said, "Then you raise your hand is—" Long Fei said, "The spirit communication technique is too difficult. I give up." After which, he strode off the stage. The entire arena was in an uproar, and everyone was stupefied. What's going on? Starting from an instant kill, why should I give up now? Damn, isn't this too cool? I have to say, this kid is too awesome. So awesome that even I don't understand. Too much personality. I think he's a big idiot. Many people started to mock him. None of them understood why Long Fei was doing this. He did not use his spirit communication technique, and just gave up. The one who didn't understand was Jin Chan. He still had a proud smile on his face, but before he could retract his smile, it froze and froze on his face. He turned his head and asked, what did he just say? One of the disciples said, "Sect leader's senior brother. He just gave up. Is he crazy? I think he is deliberately playing with you." Sect head. Jin Chan was enraged. He clenched his fists tightly. The spirit chi around his body exploded out, his eyes staring straight at Long Fei, who was walking down the stage, his teeth chattering loudly. His beautiful fantasy from a second ago was instantly shattered. Giving up meant he was at the bottom. This would be very disadvantageous for tomorrow's battle. Long Fei walked back and immediately shouted, "Long Fei, what are you doing? You want to die?" Long Fei raised his eyes slightly and said, "You'd better clean up my mouth, understand? If you make me unhappy, I will make you even more unhappy. You understand? I hope all the women in the world like him. I hope all the women in the world like him. Are you threatening me?" Jin Chan's gaze darkened. He was the sect master. He was the leader of the exchange. His status was honorable. However, Long Fei did not take this lying down and stared at him. "This is not a threat, because you do not even have the qualifications to be threatened by me. Do you understand?" His aura was extremely arrogant. "Sect head? Leader? I don't even put you in my eyes." Jin Chan's face changed. Ba Wang Hua, Wang Tai instantly entered battle state. At this moment, one of the disciples beside Jin Chan suddenly brandished his sword and attacked Long Fei, shouting, "Long Fei, you dog, you are too arrogant. If I don't teach you a lesson, do you think you are so amazing?" Wang Tai slightly moved. Long Fei pulled him back and said, "My hands have been itching for a while now." Boom! He rushed forward, and without any defense, he directly rushed forward. A powerful aura burst out and ruthlessly slapped the disciple in the face. "Pah!" He fell to the ground. Long Fei's eyes darkened. He kicked fiercely at the disciple's face. "You are giving me a lesson? What do you think you are? Always being blind. I've endured you for a long time." Bang, 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 bang. With a kick, he ruthlessly kicked the disciple's head until it split open. The health point above the disciple's head also bottomed out, and the system's notification sound rang out. Long Fei did not stop. And then Long Fei raised his eyes, stared at Jin Chan, and said, "This is the Devil Hills. Even if I kill all of you, no one will know, understand?" His eyes were cold and filled with a strong killing intent. Jin Chan's mind trembled slightly. He wanted to get angry, but was crushed by the aura from Long Fei's body. He was afraid. Moreover, just now, his junior brother's cultivation was clearly stronger than Long Fei's, but he didn't know why he was slapped to the ground in that moment. He couldn't understand. How could a fourth stage blue star realm Long Fei crush his junior brother? Of course, Long Fei's cultivation could not be suppressed, but desperate man's cultivation could easily crush them. Jin Chan's face turned cold and did not dare say a word. At this moment, the group of Xian Yang sect disciples burst into cheers. "Xian Yang sect wins." Long Fei turned around and looked at Nie Lin, who was standing on the stage, and faintly smiled. If he didn't attack, Nie Lin could definitely win. In a corner, Yen Nantian watched everything with an ice-cold expression, looking at Nie Lin, then looking at Long Fei. His eyes contained a hint of coldness. "Kid, just you wait." Today's exchange competition ended much earlier than yesterday's. Nie Lin arrived at the shabby house that LV Shuangchuan had paid a huge price to rent. Its senior sister, Nie. LV Shuangchuan immediately ran into the courtyard and said, "Brother Fei, senior sister, Nie Lin is here." Long Fei walked out of the courtyard and said, "Congratulations." Nie Lin gave a shallow smile and said, Senior Brother Long Fei, this is because you don't want to fight with me, otherwise I would not have any chance. She was fully confident in her spirit communication technique, and was even confident that she would be able to defeat Yen Nantian. Long Fei's abandonment and what he had said were enough to show that Long Fei was letting her win. Long Fei laughed and said, Let's not talk about this. I have something that I want to ask for your help with. Nie Lin was startled and asked, What? Long Fei glanced at the Bawang Hua and Wang Tai behind him and said, Let's talk outside. After Long Fei left, the Bawang Hua did not leave. LV Shuangchuan said, Senior sister, are you jealous? Wang Tai also looked at Bawang Hua. Bawang Hua replied, I won't be jealous. The more people like the men I like, the better. The more beautiful women like Long Fei, the better. LV Shuangchuan was dumbstruck, looked at Bawang Hua, and said, The best senior sister in all of history. The Bawang Hua did not think the same as the other women. She liked Long Fei, but she would not restrain Long Fei. The more women like Long Fei, the happier she would be, because this was the man she liked. In the small forest, there was no one around, and everything was quiet. It was a good place to talk about love. Nie Lin's heart was beating fast, like a little deer running around, as she imagined the words Long Fei wanted to say to her. He can't be wanting to confess to me, right? What if he confessed? Should I agree? I really want to know what he told me earlier. Women, at her age. Nie Lin acted as if he was calm and asked, What do you have to say in this kind of place? Long Fei asked, Was the death of the 8 great disciples caused by Yen Nantian? Nie Lin trembled, and the expression in his eyes flickered a little. It just so happened that Nie Lin was a woman that Yen Nantian liked. And furthermore, on the stage today, Long Fei clearly felt that Yen Nantian was not injured at all. Nie Lin hesitated, and then Long Fei said, Forget it. The death of the 8 eldest disciple has nothing to do with me. I do not want to get involved. I did not call you here for this matter. I want to capture 12 Hell Reaper S. I need your help. As soon as he finished, Nie Lin looked at Long Fei with a face full of shock and said, Are you crazy? Long Fei replied, I'm not crazy. Nie Lin said, They are powerhouse from another world. With just a glance, he was able to instantly kill Powerhouse at the pinnacle of the Red Star realm. No one can stop them, and even more so, no one can catch them. This was simply impossible. Only Long Fei, this madman, would say such a thing. Long Fei giggled and said, It's really because of this. That's why I need your help. A single glance could kill a person. These fellows were not ordinary experts. If he had these guys as his henchmen, wouldn't he be bringing lightning along with him? Meeting Zhan Wushuang in the Ghost City, Zhan Wushuang's strength had caused Long Fei to want to enter the ancient holy battlefield even more urgently, but it was useless to enter the ancient holy battlefield alone. He needed to establish his own power, light and darkness. The 2 forces of the main temple and the evil god palace were fighting. Long Fei did not want to join any of them. He wanted to have his own faction, so he needed to build his own power. The Hell Reaper's powerful monster was really the talent that he needed. That was why Long Fei wanted to catch them. Nie Lin laughed bitterly. How can I help you? I can't do anything. Long Fei said, I don't need to help too much. I need you to help me attract the attention of a few Hell Reaper so that I can take care of the others. Before Long Fei could finish his words, Nie Lin said, How can I be of help to you? They can kill me with just a glance. How can I help you attract them? Long Fei, don't be silly. Countless people have thought of this for the past 1,000 years. All of them are dead. You have seen more clearly than anyone else how that mad dog died. I won't help you. Besides, I can't help you. Seeing Nie Lin's somewhat cold expression, Long Fei faintly smiled and said, I was just joking earlier. Just pretend I didn't say anything. And then he left in big strides. Chapter 1830. The Appearance of the Sweeping Monk. Chapter 1830. The appearance of the sweeping monk. The paths were different, completely unrelated to each other. Long Fei thought that he understood Nie Lin very well, but he realized that he was wrong. Maybe he really did not understand. Hell Reaper was able to instantly kill all of them. Everyone was afraid of death. Nie Lin was no exception. Long Fei is thinking too much. But Long Fei would probably not have any contact with him after this, because they were not on the same path. Refusing was one thing. The key thing was Nie Lin's expression and what she had said. And then again, she clearly knew that the 8 great disciples had all died at Yan Nanshan's hands, but she did not say it out loud. Yan Nantian was helping her clear the way, and at the same time, helping her clear the way. Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei. Nie Lin chased after Long Fei. Long Fei did not turn back. Nie Lin fiercely stomped his foot and angrily shouted, If you want to die, then go. Long Fei disappeared into the woods. Nie Lin was very angry. She thought that Long Fei would listen to her, and even it was all for her use. She would deal with Yan Nantian tomorrow, but now she also knew in her heart that Long Fei should not have any sort of relationship with her anymore. The two of them were like 2 parallel lines, without any intersection. After a long time, Nie Lin's eyes flashed as he looked in the direction that Long Fei had disappeared in, and turned around to the other direction, in the direction of the sect that Yan Nantian was in, returning to his residence. Ba Wanghua could not help but ask when he saw Long Fei's expression change. What's wrong? Long Fei smiled faintly and said, Nothing. LV Shuangchuan said, Confession failed? It shouldn't be. I can tell that senior sister Nie Lin should really like you. Why? Could it be that Yan Nantian is here again? Long Fei rolled his eyes at LV Shuangchuan. The Ba Wanghua said, Oh, right. Sect Master came over just now. He left behind 3 pills for us to prepare for the fight tomorrow. LV Shuangchuan said, I have checked the pills. No problem. Long Fei said, You 3 divide it. I do not need it. Finished. Long Fei walked into his own room. He thought that Nie Lin would agree to his request, but in the end, Long Fei was not angry. He just felt that he was a little silly. He thought all the women in the world would listen to him. If Nie Lin doesn't help, I'm afraid. Long Fei had his own plans, but he needed the help of a spirit communication technique master. But Nie Lin's rejection made Long Fei's plan go bankrupt in an instant. Where can I find an expert in the spirit communication technique? Long Fei frowned deeply. Today is the last night. Tomorrow, those Hell Reaper will not appear. We have to take him down today. If not, we will have to wait for another year. Long Fei didn't want to waste so much time. Huff. Long Fei crawled up from the bed. No matter what, I have to do something. The Hell Reaper's fighting strength was truly explosive. With these guys, the Devil Island could do whatever he wanted. Moreover, that year, his mother had killed a Hell Reaper. Was she reminding him? No matter what, Long Fei did not want to give up. Long Fei opened the door to his room, wanting to set it up in advance. Seeing LV Shuangchuan, the Ba Wanghua, and Wang Tai all standing in front of his room's door, Long Fei asked in a daze, What happened? What's the matter? Ba Wanghua said, If she doesn't help you, we will help you. LV Shuangchuan said, Brother Fei, it's just lovelorn. What's the big deal? LV Shuangchuan, don't have any other abilities. My ability to find a beautiful junior sister is very strong. Wang Tai said simply, Brother Fei, There's still us. What's wrong? What happened? Long Fei was a little confused. He had just lied in his room for less than 2 hours. What had happened? LV Shuangchuan said, I already received the news. Long Fei asked, what news? LV Shuangchuan clenched his teeth and said, Nie Lin has already agreed to Yan Nanshan's proposal, and she said that you would pester her until the end, and that she will do her best to deal with you in the fighting arena tomorrow. Brother Fei, this kind of woman isn't worth it. Exactly. This kind of woman doesn't even have the qualifications to like you. Ba Wanghua said, fiercely. Wang Tai replied simply, no. Long Fei laughed. The smile was very comfortable. Women, I have so many women. Can they be considered to be veterans in love affairs? But I still don't understand what a woman is. Long Fei laughed bitterly. After being separated for only 2 hours, Nie Lin had changed. It didn't matter to Long Fei. He did not care who Nie Lin chose, because it had nothing to do with him. Seeing Long Fei's bitter smile, Ba Wanghua's heart began to ache, and he said, Long Fei, don't be sad. Long Fei said, I'm not sad at all. Really, I'm still unspeakably happy right now. He had felt guilty earlier, forcing his own thoughts on others, but now the guilt was gone. Brother Fei, just cry when you're sad. LV Shuangchuan said, the two of them are showing their love everywhere. Many people outside are ridiculing you, a toad wanting to eat swan meat. I said you overestimate yourself. I said you were too arrogant, but you thought you were the king after winning 2 rounds. There were all sorts of nasty things to say. LV Shuangchuan did not say everything. Long Fei said, I cry? I should have laughed. Forget it. Let's not talk about this anymore. Long Fei said, I'm going out for a walk. He wanted to take a look at the terrain and then lay it out. I'll go too. Ba Wanghua immediately followed. Wang Tai also took a step forward. LV Shuangchuan said, I'll go too. If you can't think of it in a while, then I'll help too. This Devil Hills only has 1 exit, 3 sides are cliffs. If only... Long Fei could not help but smile bitterly. Finally, Long Fei said, I really submit to all of you. I have never confessed to Nie Lin. The things that I have discussed with her are how to deal with the Hell Reaper that looms at night. I want to catch them all. When the 3 heard this, they were all stunned. In the end, Wang Tai said, Brother Fei, don't keep it a secret from us. They didn't believe it at all. Long Fei was speechless and said, I am really discussing to capture Hell Reaper with her. Do you guys want to help? If the 3 of you are together, there might be a chance. Yes, the 3 of you are willing to help us. Long Fei asked seriously. At this moment, at some point, an old monk appeared in front of the door. The old monk that was guarding the Devil Temple. It was comparable to the super abnormal beings that existed in the sweeping monk-s of Shaolin Temple. His appearance caused Long Fei's face to tighten. The old monk's eyes seemed dead silent. The brown bone on Wang Tai's back instantly expanded, and the heavy sword descended as though it was facing a great enemy. Long Fei immediately said, Don't fight. None of us are your match. You guys just find a chance to escape. The old monk raised his eyes, looked at Long Fei, and said, I can help you. Chapter 1831, Hand to Hand. Chapter 1831, Hand to hand. As night fell, the people of Tensex and the people watching the exchange had long hidden themselves inside their houses, not daring to come out again. It was time for the demons. Whoever wandered outside might die. However, some people weren't afraid of death. For example, Long Fei. Wealth comes from danger. Even if you can't get it, you still have to get it. Long Fei was an adventurer. If he saw something he wanted, he would try his best to get it. 12 Hell Reaper S. More accurately, it should be 13. His mother had killed one of them, and now There were 12. Their fighting strength was superb. If all of these Hell Reaper were captured by him, then they would be very powerful. Remember what I said. Do not look them in the eye. Even if they find you, do not panic and lower your head. You understand? Long Fei warned again and again. He was surrounded by 12 Hell Reaper the night before yesterday. Ba Wanghua nodded his head heavily and said, "Understood. All right. Everyone, hide well and wait for my order." Long Fei's body slowly hid himself. The idea moved and said, "Scholar, your mission today is to protect the 3 of them. I don't care about this side of mine. I have a way." Desperate Man did not reply. Long Fei once again said, "I can protect myself. I don't want to see anything bad happen to the 3 of them." If Nie Lin was the one to help him, Long Fei would also send out his Desperate Man to protect her. Long Fei was very clear on the strength of his Desperate Man. However, Nie Lin did not listen to what he had to say. Of course, she didn't even want to risk her life with Long Fei. After all, she was a Hell Reaper, an existence that could kill with just a glance. Desperate Man still did not speak. Long Fei knew that the Desperate Man would listen to his orders. Time passed by second by second. It was midnight. Suddenly, buzz, 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 buzz. In the sky above Devil Temple, a vortex of darkness began to spin, and the dark void door began to open. It was as if the gate of a light boundary had been opened. Boom! The first Hell Reaper descended. It was pitch black. Red light shone from his eyes. His body was wreathed in the flames of death from the underworld. It was extremely strong. Boom! With another sound, another Hell Reaper descended. Boom! 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 A few more explosions sounded as the 12 Hell Reapers all landed and stood together as one. They were just like the alien robots in a movie. He was wearing a completely black armor and holding a long curved blade in his hand. His eyes shone with red light, and his aura was also very different. The 12 Hell Reapers stopped after 3 seconds and then started to walk towards the camp. In the darkness, Long Fei looked at their distance. In his mind, he was madly calculating 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. They were about to enter the array that Long Fei had designed. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and said excitedly, "Come on, we're just 1 step away." However, at this moment, a voice came from the darkness. "There is a trap ahead." The moment he said that, the 12 Hell Reaper immediately stopped. Long Fei even had the thought of killing his mother. Moreover, this voice, he was incomparably familiar with the voice. It was Yan Nanshan's voice. F***CK. Long Fei cursed in his heart. Just when he thought that 12 Hell Reapers would bypass the array, his leader directly stepped forward. Next, another Hell Reaper stepped forward. It seemed, not even putting the array in his eyes. Long Fei grinned and excitedly laughed. "Are you looking down on my array formation? Then let me show you." 8 out of 12 Hell Reapers entered. Furthermore, at this time, the formation did not immediately shatter. Long Fei also had not come out yet. Suddenly, the leader of the Hell Reapers' eyes darkened. With a shake of the scimitar in his hand, the dark blade Qi came out and smashed the array into pieces. Boom, boom, boom. With a few explosions, the formation shattered. A mocking laugh came from the darkness. "You think you can trap the Hell Reaper with that trash array of yours? You overestimate yourself." Long Fei did not respond to him. The moment the first layer of formation broke, Long Fei's figure moved and directly rushed out, while at the same time, Ba Wanghua followed closely behind. The moment he rushed out, both of Long Fei's hands quickly formed a seal. the divine power crazily surging the power of the runes on his palm. He suddenly slapped, "Hypnosis formation." Boom! 8 runes shot out, and the second array formation was activated. Strands of power were released by his spirit and entered the Hell Reaper's sea of consciousness. All of a sudden, the 8 Hell Reapers all seemed to have fallen asleep. This was also the first time he had tried the hypnosis formation. As long as they were hypnotized, Long Fei would have enough time to do whatever he wanted. Brother Fei got it. All those Hell Reapers are no longer moving. Now it's up to us. LV Shuangchuan became excited and shouted to the other 4 Hell Reapers who had yet to enter the array. "Grandson, grandfather is here. We are here to capture grandfather." Wang Tai didn't say much. The heavy sword fell, chopping down. The dense sword chi shot out, directly striking one of the Hell Reapers, who turned and stared at Wang Tai. But Wang Hua immediately blocked it. She had the divine armor that Long Fei gave her. The Hell Reaper looked at the leader of the array again. He did not say anything, but it could be a form of mental communication. Long Fei's heart trembled. It was what he wanted, but he had an ominous premonition. But now, Long Fei did not care anymore. As the moment he rushed into the array, his spirit force quickly spread out, with one hand using the beast mastery and the other using the spirit communication technique. Boom! Buzz! 2 powerful energies were released. Bring it on! The 2 great forces enveloped the 8 Hell Reapers. He was like a madman. Beast mastery could only subdue 1 demon beast at a time. However, Long Fei had actually unleashed 2 cultivation skills at the same time, and he wanted to subdue all 8 Hell Reapers at the same time. If he wasn't crazy, then what was he? Only you dare to think about it. Nothing is impossible. Long Fei was just like that. As long as his spiritual power was large enough, he would definitely be able to do it. However, Hell Reaper was not an ordinary demon beast. At this moment, their eyes were staring straight at Long Fei, but they were not completely hypnotized. What was even more terrifying was that Long Fei was also looking into their eyes and staring straight at them. Chapter 1832, The Unavoidable. Chapter 1832. The unavoidable, the reason why Mad Dog was instantly killed, was because he and Hell Reaper were staring at each other. Only then would he be instantly headshot and killed. Last time Long Fei lowered his head and did not look at them in the eye, so he avoided a calamity. But this time, Long Fei and Hell Reaper looked at each other. In that instant, Long Fei's mind instantly thought of death. That feeling was very uncomfortable, as though his body had instantly been sucked dry. Boom, boom, boom. Long Fei's world was spinning, and he saw the sky full of bloody light. Blood formed rivers, and in the distance he saw a tall mountain of corpses. What kind of world was this? Then, in the blink of an eye, the world suddenly changed. Long Fei entered another illusion world, and his body was sinking deeper and deeper into it. It was as if someone was holding onto his throat, making him hard to breathe. Ah! Ah! Long Fei continuously struggled and roared angrily, but it was as if the entire world had abandoned him, and no one paid attention to him. Fire Glass City, Long Family, Grandpa, Jojo, Lu Luashi, Xiao Tian Tian, Yi Zian, Immortal Domain. Countless faces appeared in Chaos Realm's world. Long Fei wanted to grab onto it with all his might, but no matter how much he tried, he couldn't. Those people simply didn't hear his voice. In their own world, there was no world where Long Fei lived. Why? Why? Could it be like this? Why? Long Fei constantly asked himself. The Long family has slowly declined. My grandfather has slowly aged. The Long Army has collapsed in all directions. Lu Luoxi has married Hong Tianjun. Xiao Tiantian has also been defiled by Hong Tianjun. Why is this kind of world happening? What about me? Where am I? Where am I? Every single image was like a world to them. They were born old, they died of sickness, they broke through to become stronger, and they had all sorts of changes in their lives. However, there was one thing on these pictures that did not reveal Long Fei's figure, and other than the Long family, no one knew who Long Fei was. The final scene was Long Sanfeng crying softly in front of his grave. Am I dead? Am I long dead? Why is it like this? Long Fei didn't understand. Or, if I didn't cross over, would it be this kind of world? No. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and bellowed with all his might. I'm here. I want to change everything. What Long Fei saw was the appearance that he had yet to transcend this world. All the paths of fate would change and become even more desolate. As Long Fei watched all of this happen, his fearless heart grew increasingly determined. Sweeping monk, are you still not going to make your move? The idea spoke out. At this moment, boom, a burst of power exploded. The figure that was looking at Hell Reaper with Long Fei's eyes trembled slightly, then retracted his gaze. At this moment, the sickle around Long Fei's neck loosened. Hoo. Long Fei gasped for breath heavily and retracted his gaze. Let's go, Sweeping Monk shouted. His figure moved like lightning as he quickly teleported out. Leave. I never thought of leaving. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he said solemnly, Long Fei will definitely go against the heavens. No one can stop me. No one. Boom. The chi on Long Fei's body exploded forth. The power in his palms did not diminish at all. His eyes were filled with determination. Come, this old man does not believe that I can overturn you. The power of the beast mastery did not decrease, but increased instead. The same was true for the spirit communication technique. He wildly rushed out and enveloped all 8 Hell Reaper-S around him. In that instant, his power directly rushed into the Hell Reaper's sea of consciousness. Come on! Long Fei looked as if he had gone insane. Crazy! Many people looked at Long Fei in shock. Is he crazy? He's definitely crazy. The spirit communication technique is used simultaneously with the beast mastery, and it is also used on all 8 Hell Reaper-S at the same time. What kind of power is this? Oh my God, I have never seen this kind of madman. Moreover, did you see that Long Fei has completely stunned the 8 Hell Reaper-S? His idea has already entered the Hell Reaper's sea of consciousness. He's too powerful. Today, he purposely admitted defeat and let her win, but I didn't expect her to say that Long Fei doesn't even know how to use the spirit communication technique, and I was almost deceived. The beast mastery is the same. In the dark, Nie Lin's face was extremely ugly, extremely unsightly, and extremely unsightly. Since she had made her choice, she would climb upwards because she wanted to enter the Devil Temple as well and wanted to obtain the supreme inheritance. However, Long Fei's spirit communication technique was just as the people around said, far away from her by 100 streets. Similarly, Yan Nanshan's expression was extremely ugly. The limelight around his 10 disciples had all been stolen by Long Fei. 8 Hell Reaper. He didn't dare to look straight at her. Moreover, that night when he saw Hell Reaper, he was so frightened that he kneeled down. But what about Long Fei? He was actually so crazy to the point of wanting to surrender to the Hell Reaper. Just this point caused them to be lacking by an immeasurable amount. Then, boom, Yan Nantian took a step forward, his eyes tightly locked as he stared at Long Fei, who was out of the 8 Great Hell Reaper, and said in a deep voice, Long Fei, do you want us all to die with you? If you want to die, then go and die. In truth, he was just unconvinced. He was envious and jealous of Long Fei. At this time, Nielin stood out and said, Hell Reaper has already been in the Devil Hills for more than 1,000 years, and for the past 1,000 years, everything has been peaceful. It was you, Long Fei, who wanted to change this. It doesn't matter if that trash with your talent dies, but we don't want to die with you. After a few sounds, countless people began to criticize him. Yen Nantian bellowed, Long Fei, why aren't you stopping? I gave you a chance. You are the one who is courting death. Yen Nantian suddenly took action and quickly rushed towards Long Fei. He was going to attack. In the dark, an elder said, Sect Master, should we stop Yen Nantian? If he goes up, Long Fei, who is in this state, will definitely die. Jin Chan laughed coldly and said, It's just a dog of mine, so it doesn't matter if I die. Exactly. Killing our junior brother in front of the sect master and threatening him in front of him is enough for him to die 10,000 times over. He deserves to die. Jin Chan laughed coldly. Obtaining first place in 2 rounds, he had already completed his mission, and no one would know that he obtained first place from Long Fei. It was all thanks to him. As for Long Fei's death, even if Yen Nantian didn't make a move, he would have tried to kill her anyway. Jin Chan coldly looked at the distant Long Fei and said, Brat, you won't be able to escape today. Ha ha. Chapter 1833. Blasting Fist Broken. Chapter 1833. Blasting Fist Broken. The human heart was sinister. This was reality. Even if it was the of God Rare sect, he would be happy to have Long Fei die, let alone Yen Nantian. Seeing Yen Nantian's attack, Jin Chan laughed complacently. He was doomed. Long Fei was completely immersed in the beast mastery and psychic's head. He never would have thought that Yen Nantian would be born at this time, and even more so that Nielin would add insult to injury. Perhaps this was the human heart. Boom, boom, boom. The strong wind howled. Yen Nantian did not dare to approach. He was extremely afraid of the Hell Reaper, but his powerful sword Qi could easily cut towards Long Fei. The mystical heaven sword technique. Soaring sword Qi. Yen Nantian shouted. The sword in his hand released a layer of extremely thick sword Qi, which rushed straight at Long Fei. Ha ha ha. Brat, go and die. A deep sound. Tianxian sword art. This is the supreme sword technique. One move can kill him. A blue star realm martial artist cannot withstand this move. Yen Nantian used the power of 8 levels of this move. Even Powerhouse at the pinnacle of the Red Star realm would find it hard to defend against this kind of sword Qi, not to mention that he is only a blue star realm warrior. This kid is dead for sure. There was no lamentation in Nielin's eyes, only an ice-cold expression, because she knew very well in her heart what she wanted. He narrowed his eyes and said to himself in a low voice, You could have chosen not to die, but you chose a dead end. You brought this upon yourself. The sword Qi roared and directly slashed towards Long Fei's head. The sword Qi wreaked havoc as it approached, causing the Holy Spirit angel to suddenly wake up. He did not receive Long Fei's orders and immediately shouted out, You dare to sneak attack my disciple. You don't want to continue staying here, do you? Holy Spirit defense. Buzz. A magic shield enveloped Long Fei. The sword Qi also directly slashed at his Holy Spirit defense, blocking 99% of the attack's damage. But even so, Long Fei's body still trembled slightly. His health point had been reduced by quite a bit. That's not the point. The crux of the matter was that Yen Nantian's actions had disrupted Long Fei's mental state, the spirit communication technique, and the beast mastery began to tremble. The power controlled by his hands was about to collapse. Long Fei's eyes were wide opened. A cold intent flashed past his eyes as he stared at Yan Nantian. Ambushed me? He did not kill Long Fei with a single slash. This made all the surrounding people gasp, and they all looked towards Yan Nantian. The fact that even the 8th level of strength had not killed Long Fei was a form of humiliation to him. Yan Nantian's own heart was stirred with displeasure as he coldly said, I want to see if you can still block your sword. Whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk. In an instant, hundreds of sword chi swept out. Every single one of them were incomparably strong. Infused with all of Yan Nantian's strength, he wanted to kill Long Fei, so he did not hold back at all. Moreover, this was in front of Nialin, so he had to show off even more. Boom, 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 asterisk, he stood crazily on Long Fei's body. With 100 streams of sword cheese, Long Fei's entire body was instantly drenched in blood, and the pain was unbearable. However, he was still alive. Disciple, let me go. Mistress, if you continue like this, you will die. Let me do it. The bodyguard Xiao Yan began to worry. Long Fei continued to persevere. However, his heart was filled with rage, his mind was in complete chaos, and even the idea that had entered the Hell Reaper's sea of consciousness crumbled at that instant. The rage was raging. Long Fei's gaze tensed up, and he growled in a serious tone, Yan Nantian, I will control your ancestors. Die. Boom. Both of Long Fei's fists exploded. His body fiercely rushed forward and immediately locked onto Yan Nantian, while Yan Nantian, who was not far away, roared out, Blasting fist! Boom. His arm was burning hot. The dragon-shaped mark under his clothes also flashed with a red light. Gulp, gulp. It was as if energy was being filled. Xuana Bai's colored flame shot out crazily from under his feet. The scene was extremely flashy, and Long Fei leapt up. Die? Nialin's gaze tensed up. She had seen this move on many occasions, where Long Fei was always able to instantly kill his opponent. Seeing Long Fei releasing this move on Yan Nantian, she was secretly happy in her heart, and her face couldn't help but reveal a hint of a smile. As long as this fist could hit Yan Nantian, he would definitely die. At the same time, Long Fei would also be killed by the Hell Reaper. This way, she could easily become this year's new king. She was the one who laughed the last time. Nialin's heart was in ecstasy. Long Fei's fist was about to land. However, in that moment of life and death, Hell Reaper suddenly woke up. As if he had been summoned by some kind of force, a red light flashed in his eyes. Buzz. As his body moved, it was so fast that no one present could react yet, as a black steel fist as big as a fan smashed towards Long Fei's blasting fist. Table of contents. It was incomparably shocking. Long Fei didn't have time to react at all, and furthermore, his target was Yan Nantian, and he did not have time to react when Hell Reaper suddenly rushed towards him. Boom! The two fists intersected. Crack! Crack! Two violent bone-cracking sounds rang, and Long Fei retreated backwards. His feet drew a deep scar on the ground, and after retreating for several hundred meters, he finally managed to barely stop at the edge of the cliff. Hell Reaper's black steel fist also cracked, exploding forth. An arm exploded. Everyone was shocked to the point that they didn't dare to make a sound, while Yan Nantian also tightened his brow. The strength behind Long Fei's punch was too ferocious. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Long Fei panted heavily. Although he had broken one of Hell Reaper's arms with his fist, his blasting fist was broken, re-entering cooldown time. Now, he had no one to rely on. Xiao Yan. Long Fei had no choice but to make a move. Xiao Yin spoke slightly. Master, I am already prepared. I can attack at any time, but with my current cultivation, I might not even be able to handle 12 Hell Reaper S. At this moment, in another area, 3 unconscious bodies were thrown out from the darkness. Bang! Bang! Bam! Ba Wang Hua, Wang Tai, and LV Shuangquan, however, did not have a desperate man's body, and a huge wound appeared on one of their chests. A black liquid gushed out of the wound. It should be an injury from desperate man. But where was he now? Long Fei didn't have time to think about it further. Boom! Boom! The 12 Hell Reaper S walked towards Long Fei in unison, their dense chi surging, crushing Long Fei, causing him to be unable to move. In the distance, Nie Lin revealed a proud and cold smile. Yan Nantian did the same. You won't be able to escape death in the end. Was it hard to escape death? 12 Hell Reaper S. Long Fei had no chance now. However, Long Fei did not cower even in death. With the devil's sword in one hand and the fire dragon knife in the other, he said with a torch-like gaze, "Come." But right at that moment, the Sleeping Beauty's voice suddenly sounded. Long Fei, jump down. Chapter 1834. The King's Assembly. Chapter 1834. The King's Assembly, the blasting fist, was forcefully interrupted. On the cliff behind him, the 12 Hell Reaper were surrounding and attacking. The Sleeping Beauty's voice suddenly rang out. Jump down. Long Fei trembled slightly. Behind him was a bottomless abyss. He did not know how deep the hell he was. Holy Spirit defense was cold, and his current level of cultivation was not enough for him to fly for a long time. However, he believed in Sleeping Beauty. Boom, boom. The 12 Hell Reaper S took one step in unison and immediately surrounded Long Fei in every direction. A Hell Reaper with his arm crippled took a step forward. His eyes were filled with anger, and 2 balls of red flames stared straight at Long Fei. Long Fei stood at the edge of the cliff, pointed at the fire dragon knife, and shouted, "Come, come!" Very unhappy, if not for him forcefully interrupting the blasting fist, Yan Nantian would have died without a complete corpse. In the distance, Yan Nantian was also slightly afraid. The power of that fist just now was incomparably ferocious. It was able to explode Hell Reaper's arm. If he were to forcefully receive that fist, then his mind was shaken, his back was drenched in cold sweat, and he couldn't help but look at Nie Lin from the corner of his eyes. Yan Nantian laughed coldly and said, Long Fei, you trash, you still dare to hoot even at the brink of death. You're about to be dragged into hell by Hell Reaper? Ha! This is what happens when you fight me. Nie Lin also said slightly, Long Fei, why do you have to go through so much trouble? Didn't I just reject your confession? You don't need to go with me. What do you look like now? Yan Nantian immediately said, It looks like a dead dog. Ha! Nie Lin also revealed a slight smile and said, In my next life, I must definitely recognize myself. Some people cannot be offended, and even more so, cannot do certain things. A smelly face that made Long Fei extremely disgusted. Long Fei did not even bother to look at it. In their eyes, Long Fei was definitely going to die. Thus, Nie Lin and Yan Nantian started to act unrestrainedly. Especially after Long Fei had released the blasting fist, Nie Lin no longer had any worries. He was very clear on the amount of time needed for this move. The two of them were singing the same tune, and many of the people around them started to agree with them. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, What a terrible couple. Boom. Suddenly, Hell Reaper took a step forward and rushed towards Long Fei with incomparable speed. Nie Lin laughed coldly. I gave you a chance before, but you didn't know how to choose. All of this was what you had asked for yourself. Don't worry. I'll definitely come back for you. Long Fei's eyes turned cold. Seeing the quickly approaching Hell Reaper, the idea moved, his powerful mental force bursting forth crazily. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A loud sound resounded in the sky. His spirit power was split into 12 lines and a half, like a spider web that shot straight into the center of Hell Reaper's brows. Long Fei roared out, "Die with me!" Long Fei's body fell backwards. He fell straight into the bottomless abyss. It was also at this moment that the power of the 12 spiritual forces suddenly erupted. With the power of the Sleeping Beauty added in, it forcefully dragged the 12 Hell Reaper-s into the deep abyss. Boom, 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 boom. One after another, the Hell Reaper-s were supported by a powerful force as they charged into the abyss, and their leader, the Hell Reaper-s with severed arms, fell down. The moment he fell, he still did not let go. At the same time he fell, he rushed towards Long Fei. He must avenge his lost arm. Dead. If the Devil Temple fell down the cliff, there was only one conclusion, and that was death. No one knew how deep he was. No one would be able to escape this calamity. An ice-cold smile emerged on Nialin's face. To him, Long Fei's death meant that a huge obstacle had been removed from her path. Then now, all that was left was, Yen Nantian is here. Sigh. He's dead. Why must he suffer? He actually fought against the Hell Reaper. Is he courting death? That's right. The Hell Reaper is too strong. It's a pity. After all, he was the one who defeated Yen Nantian and displayed the spirit communication technique. The beast mastery and the engraving formation are both especially powerful. What's a pity? It deserves it. Some felt pity, while others mocked. God Rare Sex Jean Chan also had a face full of mockery. Serves you right. Jean Chan sneered and said 2 words, then said, "This is what happens when you don't listen to my orders. You actually lost a spirit communication technique competition and even gave up directly. Humph. People like you, who are not under my control, cannot live in this world. Let's go. Back to camp. It's our turn tomorrow." An old man said, "Sect Master, where are Wong Tai and the other 2? The 3 of them were heavily injured and unconscious, but for now, they were not dead. Jean Chan glanced at him coldly and said, "They? What's the use of having 3 pieces of trash? Let them fend for themselves." There wasn't the slightest trace of pity. With that, Jean Chan looked at the clan elder and said, "If anyone dares to treat them, or if I find out I've found their corpses, don't blame me for being rude." The elder immediately lowered his head, not daring to speak. Jean Chan laughed coldly and said, "This is what follows Long Fei's fate. What a great beauty. It's such a pity. Let's go." Wang Tai, Ba Wanghua, and LV Shuangchuan spat out blood from their mouths and collapsed to the ground. The crowd dispersed. An old monk slowly walked out. His face was expressionless and calm, like a pool of stagnant water. He told Long Fei to leave, but Long Fei did not leave. Instead, he exploded with an even more powerful energy as a ripple appeared in his heart. But when Long Fei jumped off the cliff, this layer of ripples did not calm down at all. That's what the human heart is like. The reality will be cruel. However, the old monk carried the 3 of them up and said lightly, "Your master will descend upon you again, and you—" The old monk looked at Devil Temple and walked inside. As he walked to the door of the temple, the other old monk looked up and asked, "Have you really made up your mind?" The voice was low, just like a dead man. the old monk said. We've been waiting for 1,000 years, but hasn't he appeared now? The one we were waiting for. Master wants us to wait here for someone who can tame the 12 Hell Reapers, but he did not. He even died, near the Fiend Cliff. The old monk said softly. The old monk looked into the distance at the place where Long Fei had fallen and said, "He will definitely descend as the king. He must be the one Master wants us to wait for." Finished. Without looking back, he carried the 3 of them into the Devil Temple. Chapter 1835. Explosion Level 12. Chapter 1835. Explosion Level 12, and then there was Long Fei. He simply could not control his body at all, and the 12 Hell Reapers were even more furious when they were dragged down the cliff by him, as they madly rushed towards him. "Sister, tell me to jump down." "What can you do?" Long Fei asked anxiously. Sleeping beauties are omnipotent. She must have had a reason for letting herself jump off the cliff. The Sleeping Beauty said, "I'm thinking." "Huh." Long Fei rolled his eyes and said, "Big sis, you're trying to trick me to death." "Thinking of a solution at this time? Too late." The Sleeping Beauty giggled and said, "Mistress, don't worry. I won't let you be in any danger. I'm not that silly scholar." Speaking of which, the scholar Long Fei's heart sank. How is he now? Ba Wang Hua and the rest do not know either. F***ck. Yen Nantian, Nyalin, just you wait. As long as I don't die, I will be your nightmare. I'm really very unhappy, especially Nyalin. In the past, Long Fei thought that she was a pretty good woman, but Nyalin was very insidious. He had been used. Similarly, Yen Nantian had probably been used by her as well, or even the deaths of the 8 great disciples were all caused by Nyalin. If that was the case, Long Fei felt a chill in his heart. This world is too dangerous. Reality is reality. Not all women would be like the Ba Wang Hua, selfless and devoted to him. Not all women are good people. Nyalin was a realist. She was a woman who would use any means possible for her goal. The Sleeping Beauty said, "Master, are you still thinking about this? Hell Reaper is about to catch up to you. You have to think of a way to escape." "Escape?" Long Fei withdrew his train of thoughts and said, "What the F***k are you running for?" "I want to take them all." The blasting fist was broken, but its power was still there. It had only destroyed one of the Hell Reaper's arms, which meant these 12 Hell Reapers were extremely fierce men. They must be taken. Even if they were chasing and killing Long Fei now, Long Fei would still love them. The Sleeping Beauty let out a light breath and said, "You want to tame them?" Long Fei said, "Yes, I want to bring them to the ancient holy battlefield and make them my beasts. I want to establish my own force, a unique army." This was no joke. Why did he want to be with the main temple? And why did he have to do everything to the people of the evil god palace? Why can't I go my own way? Why did he have to be someone else's concubine? Even if Long Fei were to help any side and change the outcome of the battle, at most, Fengshen would only be able to get a few things. Furthermore, he might not even be able to kill Destiny God. If he wanted to change the world and obtain the strongest power of law, then he would have to go against the heavens and create his own power to command the entire battle. He wasn't trying to become a god. He was going to become the ruler of these 100,000 planes, which meant that he was going to be supreme, a sovereign. This was Long Fei's goal. Only sovereigns were invincible throughout the ages, absolute hegemons of the 100,000 planes, hegemons that no one could shake. Only sovereigns were allowed to do as they pleased. Only sovereigns were allowed to give their brothers, women, to become goddesses. That was to say, sovereigns. The Sleeping Beauty giggled and said, Sovereign? This is a little interesting. All right then. The Sleeping Beauty said, Since you are my little target, I will help you. However, these 12 Hell Reaper S aren't that strong. In my world, they can't even be considered ants. They are too weak. Long Fei rolled his eyes and said, Big Sis, can you not shock me? The Hell Reaper's gaze could kill in an instant, but she couldn't even be compared to an ant in the world of the Sleeping Beauty. Long Fei knew that the universal large world was extremely awesome, but he wasn't that awesome, right? The Sleeping Beauty stuck out her tongue, looking extremely mischievous. She wanted to say it, but she didn't say it out loud. She thought to herself, Don't worry, I will make you the most powerful powerhouse in Hongmeng. Master, now let me control your spiritual energy. Long Fei moved a bit and released the stone, saying, Hurry up. If I'm too late, I'll be crippled by these Hell Reaper S. It had already crushed its way over. Moreover, the guy with the broken arm had already made his move. In his current state, Long Fei could not even withstand a single move. Sleeping Beauty said calmly, Don't worry, these fellows. Humph, I want to exterminate it on behalf of the moon. That's not right. The Sleeping Beauty giggled again, as if she had used the wrong technique. With another wave of nagging, Long Fei almost broke out in a cold sweat from fright. Long Fei wasn't as fast as them. Buzz. Buzz. It was as if he had dashed out of thin air. With a slash of the scythe, Long Fei's eyes widened. Fuck, am I going to die? Boom. Buzz. Just at this moment, the idea that was controlling Long Fei moved, instantly controlling the sea of consciousness of the Hell Reaper with the severed arm. Master, do you want to sign a contract? Yes. I want full control. I want them to become my battle slaves. This time, Long Fei was not like last time, establishing some sort of brotherly relationship with him. The Hell Reaper almost scared him to the point of peeing. Understood. The Sleeping Beauty laughed. Suddenly, the system beeped. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for subdued Hell Reaper. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward for defeating Hell Reaper. Level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Blue Star rank, 5. What the heck? Surrender in an instant and there's even a special reward, level +1. It feels so good. Long Fei looked at the 11 Hell Reaper S who continued to rush towards him and revealed an excited smile. All of them. Yen Nantian, Nyalin, you guys can wash your butts in tomorrow's sparring match. Long Fei became crazy. However, there was one thing that exceeded Long Fei's expectations. That was, although the Hell Reaper that was tamed just now did not continue attacking him, the moment he was tamed, he fell down like a machine that had stopped working. Long Fei couldn't care less. He said to the Sleeping Beauty, Continue, continue. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for subdued Hell Reaper. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward, level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. This tempo couldn't be stopped at all. The leveling up was as quick as if it were flying. It dropped a total of 12 levels in a row. Bullsh *T with lightning. Chapter 1836, Long Fei's First Death. Chapter 1836, Long Fei's First Death. The system beep raged continuously. From Blue Star, rank 4, to Red Star, rank 7 in less than a minute. Even taking a rocket wasn't that fast. Awesome! What a great feeling. Ha ha ha. In the past, when an equinox flower leveled up, he would idiotically destroy all of them, leaving only one behind. At that time, even his intestines would be green with regret. Now, one Hell Reaper was enough for one level, and there was no need to kill them to level up. This was not because of anything else, but because of the system is insane. What he wanted was this kind of abnormal feeling. The leveling felt good, and Long Fei's strength increased by leaps and bounds. But the problem was now, the 12 Hell Reaper-S were like fighter jets that had fallen. All of them fell down uncontrollably, falling into the bottomless abyss. What the hell were they going to do? They were all Long Fei's fate. 12 Hell Reaper-S swept across the entire exchange hall. The head of the 10 disciples, Yan Nantian, bullshit. The Nielin who was as beautiful as a snake and as sinister as a scorpion, stomp on him to death. With these Hell Reaper, Long Fei did not need to fear anyone, anything. But now, looking at the black hole that looked like a black hole, Long Fei was secretly worried. My Hell Reaper, are you guys going to just cripple us like this? What should we do? What should we do? Sister, is there a way? Long Fei was extremely worried. The Sleeping Beauty said, before I control them, their thoughts are controlled by someone else. Your idea controls them, and they will be unable to connect for a short period of time. This state is like a machine that has stopped. They cannot be controlled. Then what should we do? For how long? Long Fei's heart ached. None of the Hell Reaper-S wanted to lose them. The Sleeping Beauty shook her head and said, I'm not sure about that either. It's up to them. Can't you do anything about it? Long Fei asked. Sleeping Beauty said, no, and I'm so sleepy, Master. I'm not going to sleep. Finished. The Sleeping Beauty's voice slowly disappeared from Long Fei's mind, and the space ring fell asleep right away. He didn't know if it was because taming the 12 Hell Reaper-S was too tiring, or if she was really too tired. Long Fei was not in the mood to think about this. What he was worried about was whether or not the 12 Hell Reaper-S would turn into meat paste. He was falling himself. Holy *T. I forgot myself. Sister, big sister, what should I do now? Long Fei was confused. He did not have any protection now. Holy Spirit defense could not be used anymore. What should we do? What should we do? What do I do? Am I going to die? Long Fei's eyes glazed over, and his heart was filled with thousands of thoughts. We're finished now. I wholeheartedly wanted to subdue 12 Hell Reaper-S and throw my life away. Long Fei wanted to cry, but no tears came out. The idea slightly moved and tightly furrowed its brows. Perhaps this is the calamity that my father told me about in the ancient holy battlefield. His father had once said that he was once again unable to avoid a calamity in the ancient holy battlefield. Yan Huang ancestor had also said this. Long Fei did not forget. He was going to die soon. This should be his calamity. However, how was he to survive this? Long Fei couldn't think of any way. However, Long Fei was not worried. This body was dead. He still had a body, a magic body, but he was currently training in the chaos realm, and without any help from the system. During this period of time, the magic body never stopped his cultivation, and Long Fei could clearly feel that he was gradually becoming stronger. That was his last resort. Humph! Bring it on. So what if I die? I have never been afraid. In the face of death, what use was there to be afraid? Long Fei's eyes angrily opened wide, facing everything. Boom, boom, boom. Half an hour later, Long Fei was still falling. However, he heard 12 loud booms, the sound of which was the sound of something smashing on the ground. Long Fei's heart sank. We're done for. All 12 Hell Reaper-S are finished. At this time, Long Fei was still unable to control the 12 Hell Reaper-S. He was still in the middle of a short circuit. Whatever. I'm going to die anyway. Wait until my magic body comes to the ancient holy battlefield. She will definitely come here to retrieve my corpse. Long Fei smiled slightly, his body exploding as he rushed down, and said, "Come." There was nothing to be done. Long Fei's body crashed into the ground. Rumble. The moment his body touched the ground, the bones in his entire body were instantly shattered. Blood was all over the place, and the amount of blood on his head had instantly reached the bottom. If they were to fall from the sky from tens of thousands of meters above, even Powerhouse would not be able to survive. Furthermore, Long Fei was only in the Red Star realm. He, too, couldn't withstand this kind of force. "I'm going to die." Long Fei finally broke into a grin. Rumble. After being smashed into a pile of meat paste, Long Fei actually still managed to laugh. However, in the moment of his death, a dark energy wrapped around him. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One hum after another burst out from the Black Pearl. Boom! With a loud sound, Long Fei was reborn and reformed. Her cultivation did not change, and she was still in the 7th level of the Red Star realm. The blasting fist was still there. The dragon-shaped mark on his arm was still there. Almost everything was the same as before. But there was one difference. Long Fei's heart had changed. Threads of black, steel-like substance covered his entire heart. The moment Long Fei regained his senses, he sucked in a cold breath of air. The instant he died, he saw the gates of hell open, and he was about to be brought to hell. But in that instant, a black power pulled him back from the gates of hell. God's immortal bead, the God's immortal bead that had fused with his mind. Long Fei's consciousness recovered, and his back was drenched in cold sweat. Looking at the pile of meat on the other side, his forehead was even sweating profusely. Damn, I'm actually not dead yet. The pearl of immortality, God's immortal bead. He really doesn't die. Furthermore, Long Fei felt around slightly, but he wasn't feeling unwell at all. It was just that he couldn't say what the black, steel-like things on his heart were, but he could feel that these steel-like things weren't harming him, but rather protecting him. If he didn't die once, his strength would grow stronger. His heart had become stronger. Even though this was the case, Long Fei didn't want to see the gates of hell open to him again. He didn't want to try again. Huff! Long Fei exhaled a long breath. My first death. Now, look at all these Hell Reaper. Chapter 1837. Forsaken World, Giant Clan. Chapter 1837. Forsaken World, Giant Clan. Not dying was outside of Long Fei's expectations. However, he did not rejoice because he did not have time, because the thing he was most worried about was not himself, but these arrogant Hell Reaper. You are all my super powerful war pet. I didn't fall to my death, so you guys can't do it either, right? Long Fei looked at the bottom of the abyss. This was the primordial forest. There were all sorts of towering trees and rare fruits. It was like a lost world. This was a completely different world from the outside world. A single grass plant was as big as a giant tree, and a single flower was comparable to a mountain. Long Fei was a little stupefied when he saw this. Let's find the Hell Reaper first. Long Fei did not have the mind to appreciate the difference, and quickly went into the forest to search. To this special little world, everything was a little abnormal. If he did not die once, Long Fei would even think that this was another world. The idea moved. A pair of dark green eyes stared at him from a few tens of meters up in the sky. All of them are dead. What Long Fei was leaning on was not some rock, if they die, but a small piece of this fellow's scale. With his cultivation at the Red Star realm, he could ride his sword and fly, then quickly but he wouldn't be able to fly at such a high altitude. In practically an instant, he would even smash himself to the front of Long Fei. He didn't want his body, and with a turn of his body, into a pile of meat Long Fei's right hand. There's a hole in front. Long Fei was almost unable to resist the bottomless black hole in front of him, and his body continuously retreated. Hidden inside, this guy, with one word, a burst of fishy cold wind blew out from the cave. Fierce. Long Fei suddenly stopped, his face changed, Long Fei said and instantly turned really fidgety. At this moment, spitting out these the gigantic hole suddenly Long Fei's hands and rushed towards Long Fei like a streak of thick black light. With the demon sword in hand, this was not a giant and the fire dragon knife but the open mouth of a giant towards the gigantic demon beast. Just how big was this python? Come. As soon as his voice faded, what the Long Fei rushed forward. Since he was unhappy, he had to do it. Long Fei escaped even if he wasn't an opponent. He had seen powerful demon beasts, but he had never seen one as strong as this. It wasn't like he had python's body curled up. Long Fei rushed and it even opened its mouth. The demon sword releasing waves after waves of roars. Long Fei flames on the fire dragon knife gushed out. That was because the blood on the python's head was about to fight to the death with the demon beast. That amount of blood, with a sharp sound, Long Fei felt a huge harpoon in the sky stabbed the demon beast to the ground, was causing this guy was not a boss because it did not have any boss or on it. Lift of the harpoon, if there was a boss level demon was lifted up into the air, how powerful like a demon beast. Long Fei was instantly stupefied. Long Fei looked up at the sky with his eyes wide open. He looked around. How big is this? Only then did he relax. He was not sure about where is this? 85 meters tall. He couldn't figure it out, but just as Long Fei was feeling extremely depressed, he was like behind his back moved a little, and Long Fei's body that crawled past him slightly, twice his size. Long Fei turned around, and the guy hanging and looked up above his head in the dark clouds was Giant Clan. Long Fei looked at the giant, and the giant was also looking at Long Fei. The giant was wearing a huge steel helmet with his upper body naked, and the muscles on his body were like pieces of gigantic rocks that were embedded into his body. The Bemin large monster is big, right? He was a giant. However, this guy in front of him was much bigger than the Bemin, and he was a human, a real giant. Long Fei looked at the pair of huge eyes, which were still in the process of cooling down the blasting fist, and became cautious. He then asked the idea in his heart, Xiao Yan, are you confident? Xiao Yan replied, we will know once we try. Gudong. If even he wasn't confident, Long Fei was even more so. Long Fei maintained his calm. At this time, the giant suddenly revealed his pure white teeth and smiled at Long Fei. A kind smile, but Long Fei did not dare to relax and said slightly, Tall guy, you are so awesome. Giant scratched his head and grinned. What are you doing here? This is the second time I've seen a villain. He immediately explained. When he said the word, the little person I'm referring to isn't scolding you. He means that you are small. He seemed a little frightened, and it was because he was afraid of Long Fei. But instead, he was thinking of a fearful voice that came from the depths of his memories. Then he muttered, I got beaten up the last time. Long Fei asked curiously, when was the first time you saw me? The giant thought for a moment and said, it seems like there is more than 1,000 years. I have forgotten the exact time, and I fell from it just like you. She doesn't look like you either. There's a little bump on her chest. Long Fei's eyes darkened. Woman! 1,000 years ago. Mother! He immediately thought of his mother. Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. Has Mother been here before? Judging from Giant's reaction, Mother must have beaten him up. Oh, Mother, how strong are you? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.